Then tomorrow, a heat advisory is in effect from noon until 9 p.m. for most of the KTRS listening area, as heat indices could reach 108 as we hit a high near 93. Then it is mostly clear tomorrow night with a low around 74 degrees. That is KTRS News right up to the minute at 3:10, where we currently have 84 degrees with a heat index of 92 underneath the Gold Tower at Westport Plaza. I'm David Solomon, KTRS News on the Talk of St. Louis.
What have we learned about Heidi?
But cockroaches were the least of her problems. Heidi had to fight for every opportunity.
You know, Heidi is, even though she's very kind of sweet and innocent,
Heidi wanted out of the slum, and her agent wasn't doing enough.
Oh my God, they moved Heidi right next to me now.
Although Heidi seems serene,
she's a bit naughty.
she uses an ancient folk remedy to help calm her down.
Heidi is back.
Back, baby. You've got the whole gang. Heidi Glaus here with Josh Gilbert, Bob Ramsey. It has been a minute, and I've got so much to tell you about my 4,863 miles.
Wait a minute, I got it right. How many?
4,000.
800. Oh, my God.
And 63 miles. I so desperately
Wanted
wanted
to hit
5,000, but I wasn't going to go around the block once we got home. Let me tell you first
Amazing.
up what we have coming up today, because Josh has put together a fine show, as he always does. We'll talk to a Washington correspondent with News Nation. Looks like Israel and Iran are trading attacks once again, and President Trump is asking them to stop. So we'll see where that stands and will they listen. Then at 3:50, we will talk to Alex Stone. LA election is still counting. I don't know if you saw President Trump kind of walk off of the interview with NBC, claiming that it's all rigged. Is there any truth to that, or is this just the process and it takes that long in L.A.? In the 4 o'clock, Ryan Kroll will join us with a couple of the stories he's covering for St. Louis Magazine. And here's a shock. We're talking about the police board, and this time it's not a new lawsuit.
Oh, boy.
How about that?
Progress.
Yeah, we'll also check in with Don Mahalik, the ABC News law enforcement contributor, and we'll talk about President Trump attending the game tonight at Madison Square Garden. What does it take to make sure that that is a safe environment? Like, when do they go in? How many people are checking every nook and cranny? Because I'll tell you a story about security when we went to the Gorge Amphitheater. I don't know how they do it to protect a president. We'll also check in with the editor of CollectSpace.com. The International Space Station is or was leaking air, and
Yikes.
you know, it's 27 years old, right? Isn't that how long it's been up there? And the astronauts, cosmonauts had to kind of evacuate or take shelter. Then they went back in after 2 hours. But we'll learn a little something about the International Space Station. How long is it going to be up there? Is it going to be replaced? So many questions about that. We'll also talk a little sports, because there's a lot to talk about.
Ton.
Breaking news about basketball. I'm talking about SLU and Mizzou basketball. We'll tell you all about that. We'll talk about the Cardinals having a great weekend, all that and more, plus some entertainment. And then we'll wrap this show up with some random. So did I miss anything?
Bob, no.
I did tune in a handful of times.
Not for long, I bet.
Well, I wasn't going to say that.
I don't think you missed anything.
No, we just kind of talked a little bit, and
Utz brand chips has a lemonade flavored chip.
Oh,
we discussed
lemonade
chip flavors.
Yeah, I remember
okay.
that.
Well, while we're talking about food, because I know you guys want to know about the road
I
trip
want to know
snacks.
the whole thing.
On the way home yesterday. So yesterday, we were in Kansas City, And it was our final 3.5 hours home. And so we filled up one final time with diesel and death fluid and ran into QT. And Marsha was, going to have a biscuit and bacon and eggs. And I'm still trying to watch what I eat. So I go over and I'm going to get a hard-boiled egg of a certain type. I love them. However, there was this thing that said pickled eggs, and it was dill pickle flavor. Now, I love dill pickles. I love a dill pickle shot.
Yeah.
I love everything dill pickle. We get in the RV, and as she always does, Marsha kind of prepares what I'm eating, so that's very easy because we're usually getting down the road.
Yeah, you're on the go.
I took one bite out of that thing.
Ugh.
I thought I was going to vomit while I was driving. And it was more, I'm going to say it was equally the texture as it was the taste.
Was it kind of gooey?
Oh, no, it was like rubbery. And then so much dill, I just started spitting it out as I'm driving. And I'm like, take this. And she goes, well, I was wondering if you've never had it, why would you buy 2? And I'm like, I'm sorry. It was wasteful. Get it out of here. It was so disgusting.
Why did you think
I don't know.
a hard-boiled egg from a gas station?
Now, you can get a little, bag of 2 hard-boiled eggs. You can get it at Schnucks, and this one usually is at gas stations, and that's just plain like you make a hard-boiled egg.
Absolutely.
I've had those plenty of time. I was trying to be adventurous, and I will not ever again. So true.
Why would you think?
I don't know what was wrong with me. Look, I have been driving for 8,000.
Oh, highway delirium.
Seems like
having
miles.
said that, I saw a story today. Was it on the Today Show? Maybe one of the network news shows about how gas stations are upping their food game, trying to take business away from fast food restaurants.
And it's working.
And now they focused on, the Buc-ee's and those kinds.
But QT has a full kitchen.
You can get fresh cooked food at QT.
They call it a scratch kitchen. We went the other day, and Connor suggested I get the mozzarella cheese sticks.
Yeah.
I did. They were fine. But then,
You know that word.
as I'm checking out, there's a little cooler off to the side, and there was sushi there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I would put the hard-boiled egg and the sushi next to each other as things not to buy.
At a gas station.
In the past.
Yeah.
Wally's, Buc-ee's, 2 in our state. Darren's talked about gas station, the big giant gas stations, and how they're popping up all over the country, much less Missouri, and that people are flocking to them, picking the location.
Wally's has a wall full of jerky.
It's
beef
unbelievable.
jerky that's fantastic.
You go on down the road to Buc-ee's before you get to Springfield coming from St. Louis, and the barbecue stuff is pretty darn good.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's like going to Pappy's or Bogart's, but it's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take one of those hard-boiled eggs. Actually, make it 2. I'll do
Can you
the sushi.
pickle those for me?
Yeah. Do the sushi, and can you give me a shrimp cocktail?
Yeah.
And I'll be on my way.
I'm going to say, this is the one thing I'm going to say not to do on your trip, but I'm going to tell you, if you have an opportunity to go west, I am so awestruck still, and I will tell you, if you want to see pictures, you can look at my Facebook page. But the pictures don't do it justice. So we got out of here Friday. Was that May 22nd, I think? And we got to Kansas City, spent the night, and then got up early, like at 7, and got to the Badlands. And I will tell you, I have never seen anything like it. I thought we were on a different planet.
It looked like Mars or something.
It was crazy, but so stunning the entire time. I can't tell you how many times we Google things on this trip.
Right.
Because we were like, what led to this? Is this just erosion over a million years? So then you leave the Badlands, and we stayed there that night. Then you go through the Black Hills, which was
beautiful and lush, right?
Equally as amazing. The whole time we were driving through, we're like, what is that? What is this? And I wish, and Josh, maybe this is an idea for you. 2 things I want. I want there to be a big billboard to tell you what mountain you're looking at over in the horizon, or what it is that you're going through, if it's a gorge or a, cavern kind of thing. And then I want to know what crops are being grown. We're used to seeing corn and beans and in my neck of the woods, cotton, maybe rice.
Right. Cotton and rice, yeah.
Out along the way, I have no idea what they're growing. We're coming out of Oregon, and we're seeing all of these little stems, if you will, green stems. And then finally, after miles and miles of this lush field, it says home of 1 billion onions sold.
Oh,
We're like,
yeah.
onion fields. Never
Wow.
saw it. Of course, Idaho, all the potato fields. But I want to know what exactly is being grown in different places.
Well, a billboard costs money, so you need someone to sponsor it. So, Bob, how about this? You're driving down the road, and it says, you are looking at the Grand Tetons. Brought to you by the QT Chef Scratch Kitchen.
There you go.
Hey.
Perfect.
I'd be okay with that.
Perfect.
And I will say, I don't know how many miles we went where you didn't see anything
Right.
except sagebrush. So we're Googling what is sagebrush and what is it good for. And I will also tell
Did you get the story? It's not native. And it's an invasive species.
And it
It's
is
Russian, right?
everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
So once we got through the Badlands and the Black Hills, which was fascinating, we ended up in Yellowstone. Now, there was just one hiccup on this entire trip. And we pull into Yellowstone. And you guys know me by now. I'm pretty A-type personality.
Type double A.
Yeah. I had this whole thing planned out, where we're staying every night, because this is a busy time of year. Don't forget, this is Memorial Day weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And we pull into Yellowstone, where we saw longhorn sheep and buffalo. And Marcia was very upset that we never saw a black bear, but we saw elk, and it was just amazing. So we get to Yellowstone at the Fishing Bridge campsite, which is, I've talked about it. I know we have a couple listeners who are going later this summer. And I go in and she goes, I don't see you on the reservation list. I'm like, okay. And it's not like you can just dry camp in Yellowstone. You have to have
Permits and all that.
And so she goes, but hold on, we do have an opening tonight. And I said, well, I booked it for 2 nights. Now, here's the also mistake that I made. I got a new phone right before we left because I wanted a better camera to take all the pictures that we were going to see. And so I lost a couple of emails, one including the reservation. So I'm like, I know I made this. I had it. She's like, let me look up. We don't have you anywhere in the system.
Was it under Marsha's name?
Tried that.
Was it under Georgie's name?
Tried that. Tried everything. Nope. Manager comes out. She's walking me through. Nothing. I said, okay, let's just go ahead and book this night. We'll get set up. We get set up, and as Marcia does a lot of the outside setup, I'm looking through. I'm like, what if I can see it in my credit card accounts, my debit accounts? If I have a statement,
good
can
idea.
you do it? So I find it. I walk about a mile back down to the, store, and I show it to her. And at first she says, "Oh, honey, people make this mistake all the time. This is in Colorado." And I said, "What? It says Yellowstone right here." And she goes, "Oh, wait a minute. Our booking system is in Colorado. This is it." So she ended up finding it. We had to move to another stop after we had everything kind of pulled out already. But we moved over, and Yellowstone was just amazing. I convinced Marcia, but she didn't want to do it first. And then I will tell you, yesterday when we were going through everything that we love, she said it was probably her favorite thing,
Which
even though she
is?
was difficult. We took an 8.5-hour tour of Yellowstone with a guide.
Oh, neat.
And it was amazing.
Is it like on a bus?
We were on a bus with like just 15 other people and stopped, and the tour guide was incredible. But Old Faithful is not the reason to go. I mean, to me, it was great.
It's
and
fine.
It's time. But it's all the other geysers throughout the park. It's kind of like you sit there and you're like, what is happening?
And the Yellowstone River Canyon.
And then all of the hot springs.
Yes.
And the mud pots. Like the painted pot,
Yeah.
I think, where the mud is gurgling. It is
So cool.
It is so cool. And I feel kind of bad for somebody who doesn't get to experience it. And then how long has that been there? We did the whole kind of ridge of what was once a volcano. And it was
remember?
just...
Yeah, we talked about that, the caldera.
Yeah. We took the whole ring. And
That's
then
neat.
when we were going into some of these hot spots, the tour guide goes, stay on the path.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to even tip a finger into these hot springs, you'll come up with just a bone because it's so acidic.
It'll boil you alive.
Yes.
Bob has these stories all the time.
Yeah. And
About
it's-
these national parks
well,
and people doing that.
When we were at Old Faithful and we're pulling out, and there was a family with 2 toddlers and a buffalo within 6 feet of them.
Oh,
And
no.
they're getting closer and taking pictures, and our tour guide is losing his mind. He's like, get those kids away from the buffalo.
People are so dumb.
It was ridiculous. But Yellowstone was absolutely amazing. The animals, the wildlife, the old kind of hotels. We went and looked
the
at
Old
a couple.
Faithful Inn.
Yes,
Isn't it
that
spectacular?
the inside with the fireplace that was massive and on all 4 sides.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So I want to go from the sublime,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just so much fun hearing you talk about all this, to the ridiculous.
Yeah.
Let's back up to South Dakota. Did you stop at Wall Drug?
We bypassed it.
Thank you.
Now, we saw
Somebody listen.
every single sign. And as a matter of fact, we started counting the signs to it. But when we went off, because we were staying at the Badlands, it took us
little
another
bit on a
direction.
schedule, yeah.
And so we went that direction. But after before we got to Yellowstone, we actually stayed in Cody, Wyoming.
Yeah.
Which is a cute little western town. And we went to the Irma, which was...
That's Buffalo Bill's hotel, right?
Yep, that he spent $85,000 on back in 19, and it's like you're walking into it with him.
Wow.
It was so cool. Tried a little of the Wyoming whiskey, which was fantastic.
Okay.
And then we went to Yellowstone, and when we were leaving Yellowstone, we stayed 2 days there. We were on our way out, and at this point, we have not seen traffic at all. It was
wow.
such smooth sailing the entire way. And as we're getting out of Yellowstone, we came in through the east, leaving through the west, and there is a buffalo mama and a baby in the middle of the road, but on oncoming traffic side. They were at a stop as we continued to go past it for 4 miles.
Yeah.
Because that buffalo and that
Just
baby
was kind of hanging.
not moving, just going to hang here for a while. So then,
That's awesome.
After that, we got to Seattle. We were actually staying in Gig Harbor, which was so cool. And part of the entire reason we were going is because my nephew is doing an internship in Seattle. So we had some great food. We took a ferry over to Seattle on that Saturday, and he showed us around, which was fantastic.
Quick time out. You skipped over the great food. What kind of stuff did you
what?
have?
We really did not eat a lot. We were so on the go and seeing sights.
Yeah.
But in Seattle, we did have the chowder in a sourdough bread bowl
there you
that
go.
was to die for.
Yep.
So we took a pic in front of the original Starbucks that is so old, and we went up in the Space Needle, and that was amazing. But just so many fun things there, and looking at all of the mountains in the background.
Yeah.
Now, we did do a little kind of look like a clown car for a second because we still learning, and my nephew had never taken the ferry over, so we're trying to figure out, are we taking a car, are we not? And we thought we were going to, just pedestrian it and take the fast ferry. And we pull up, and we're in the line for the cars to board the ferry. And it's going to be like an hour and a half. And we've paid our ticket, and we're sitting there, and I'm like, wait a minute. I don't think we're doing the right thing here. We don't want a car when we get over there. We don't want to park it. So I run back up to the little kiosk and say, hey, can we exchange this? Can we take a pedestrian ferry? She's like, well, can you get out? I said, there's like 4 cars behind us. I think I can make room for him to get out. So I go up and I tap on one window, and the woman was so frightened. And then I tap on another one, and that person was okay. And we pull out, and we end up parking, and we take the pedestrian fast ferry over, and just had a fantastic day. So that was kind of our trip out. And through the next few hours, days, I will tell you about our trip back, because it really was a fascinating
Very
trip.
cool. Very cool.
I got to ask you, though, 48,000 miles, how many gallons does the RV hold of gas?
We filled up a lot,
Okay.
and we kept track of it.
Okay.
And if you're wanting to know how much we spent on diesel,
Yes. Oh, diesel.
yes, which honestly, It was about $5 until we got way west to Seattle. Then it went up to like $6.50. So hopefully we spent about $2,400. Yeah. But we're not, in a hotel. We're in our little tiny home on wheels, which I'm going to tell you, we looked at each other and said, this is what we bought this RV for. I mean, it's you got the big windshield. You're looking out the whole time. Marsha was taking pictures the entire time. I mean, it just was every night we had the windows open because it was perfect. weather. We couldn't say enough.
So despite the reservation snafu, I know you had to change slips. Was everything there once you were in there?
Yep.
It was just I can only imagine with the pine trees all around you and the mountains. It had to be great.
It was just stunning. And if I had time, we'd probably stay there another day and do a little more hiking.
Yeah.
We didn't really get to hike too much, but it was incredible. And I'm telling you, this is the reason we have an RV, because all it did was make us want to see more of this beautiful country. And there is no better way to do it than in an RV. And I think that's what Byerly RV has known for years. I mean, they've been in this business for more than 75 years. Now, back then, the trailers weren't exactly what they are today. We saw so many RVs. And I'm not going to lie. We'll be talking to Byerly RV in the next couple of years, because if you're going to stay out this long...
You saw the upgrade out on the road?
Well, one, you should see all the laundry we had from 2 years. So we're like, you know what? A washer and dryer would be really nice. And you guys, you'll find them in RVs out at Byerly. So many great things. But if you just want to see this country, they have so many great pull-behinds that'll go probably behind the car you have right now, because they are little trailers, and then there are big motorhomes, and then there's everything in between. More than 30 brands of new RVs in stock, and it is the best of the best at Byerly RV. The thing that I love is they also have the service department. They have the storage facility. They can do it all and have you on the road before you know it. So check out ByerlyRV.com. They're always putting up pictures of the RVs they have on the lot, or better yet, swing by Byerly RV. They're in Eureka at 109 and 44. It is 3:32, and we need to get our first check of traffic with Captain Paul.
Hey, welcome back. And they finally cleared an accident on 55 North before Butler Hill. 64 East is running at less than 40 miles per hour between Illinois 111 and 157, and otherwise the roads are looking good. This traffic report is brought to you by the Quarry at Crystal Springs Golf Course. The Quarry at Crystal Springs delivers a convenient and affordable golf course that is a true test of any player's game. 4 sets of tees will allow players of all abilities to choose the course length that will best suit their enjoyment. Visit them today. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
President Trump is demanding Iran and Israel freeze fire as diplomatic efforts face collapse. Hannah Brandt, Washington correspondent with News Nation, joins with the latest. First, Hannah, how did we get here?
Hey there. Well, obviously tensions have been high for quite some time, right? But this is really, a sort of a different step in the wrong direction. It's going away from this peace deal that they're trying to strike, because this is really the first strikes of their type since that ceasefire began. And so that's obviously a big break. And President Trump has said this morning he's really working hard to try and keep this really shaky ceasefire intact at this point. And both Israel and Iran have sort of tentatively agreed to sort of back away from further strikes, though they're still publicly trading threats about striking the other. Basically, either is blaming the other side for starting this renewed round of attacks and saying, hey, if you continue striking us, we're going to continue to strike you, despite the U.S. saying, everyone should hold their fire while we continue to work on negotiations in the background.
And Hannah, is President Trump saying this directly to the leaders of Iran and Israel, or is he just making this statement, online or on news outlets?
Yeah, he's certainly talking about it online, and we know he's been speaking with Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu throughout the day as well. We're told there was a phone call earlier this morning. Now, the White House hasn't publicly said what he said, but the president, in a phone interview with Axios just about an hour ago, said that he warned the prime minister to basically be careful or he'd be on his own with strikes against Iran, which obviously would be a big deal for the U.S. to break with Israel, which has been its partner throughout this conflict here. And President Trump has said their relationship is good. He says they're still aligned in terms of goals and planning. So this is a bit of a departure from that. Clearly, his frustration with Netanyahu is mounting here. He's kind of expressed that sentiment before. But today, it seems to be on a different level.
Didn't we get a call last week when Israel continued to bomb in Lebanon and Donald Trump called Netanyahu crazy?
That's what was reported. Now, he didn't necessarily admit to those words exactly, but yeah, it's been reported that he used some pretty harsh language with the prime minister behind the scenes. But then when asked about that publicly on camera in various interviews, we've heard the president continue to say, no, look, we're close, we're good friends, we have a good relationship. You know, Israel and the U.S. want the same things. We're aligned here. But he has said we have a different approach. He wants to see Lebanon handled more surgically, were his words that he used just most recently over the weekend. So it's clear that he does think in some senses Netanyahu has gone too far with his decisions.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you, are we on the same page with Israel?
Yeah, that's the big question, right? Because a departure between the U.S. and Israel and would be just a whole new chapter of this conflict. What does it mean if Israel wants to return to attacks, but the United States says we're not going to join you? You know, that changes the whole tenor and tone of the war. Certainly changes the stakes behind the scenes with negotiations, because it's possible that Iran won't want to continue diplomatic discussions if it's then embroiled in kind of a new chapter of this war with Israel. So it certainly changes the calculus. What we understand is that behind the scenes, President Trump is applying pressure to try to keep Israel from continuing these attacks. It's also, we know the White House has been in talks with mediators. Pakistan, one of the main mediators in this discussion, has expressed that it's worried about these renewed attacks. So we know that there's discussions going on there as everyone tries to sort of keep the peace while these discussions, these negotiations about a larger, more permanent peace deal continue.
Yeah. Well, Hannah Brandt, Washington correspondent with News Nation, we appreciate you keeping us in the loop. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, Hannah, before you go, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Is that, I've been asking this every time we get somebody on from Washington, is that reflecting pool filled yet?
It is almost filled. You know what? I haven't actually been to see it myself, but I've seen pictures all on social media of people who do live here, and it looks like it's still reflecting. So just in time for 4th of July and even, you know, well ahead of schedule, I guess.
And it started filling back up on Friday. It's been all week. It's a big
How many gallons does it hold, I wonder?
But it's real shallow.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be filled by now.
I don't have the numbers on that, but I know that they keep saying it's bigger than most skyscrapers in the U.S. So certainly a lot of water, pretty huge pool there.
Are taxpayers paying for that water? I don't know. Hannah, thank you.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, thanks, guys.
That's one place to take pictures. Have you guys been to Washington, D.C.? I know you have, Bob,
Yes.
at some point.
Yes.
I mean, it's such a cool place and all the museums. But I'll tell you, another place a little closer to home is Springfield, Illinois. And I was just looking. One, there are some fantastic people coming for the Illinois State Fair later this year. Ella Langley, Lainey Wilson. That's going to be fun. But there's always something fun going on in Springfield, Illinois, and especially this year, 2026, because we've got the 100th anniversary of Route 66. And Springfield, Illinois, I mean, that is right there in the heart of it. They've got a couple special exhibits, the Bob Waldmeyer art exhibit. And if you don't know, because I'm going to be honest, I was not aware, he's an American artist well known for his artwork of U.S. Route 66. And there's going to be a fantastic exhibit there, and you can see some of his original works. You've got David Schwartz photo exhibit. He's another well-known artist who has taken all kinds of pictures of Route 66 and some of those roadside attractions. And he's even been chosen for some of the Route 66 Centennial Stamp Series, at least some of his pictures. So that's really cool. You've got the submerged, a sunken road that you can see. And then, of course, always the Lincoln Museum is a must-see because it's constantly changing. So if you're looking for a fun road trip or a weekend getaway, Springfield, Illinois is a fantastic spot. Just like an hour and 15 minutes from downtown St. Louis. You can plan your trip to Springfield, Illinois at visitspringfieldillinois.com.
Hello, everybody. I'm Bob Hardcastle, inviting you to join me and all of our Money Talkers for our Money Talk travel presentation, June 17th, 2 p.m. at our Delta office. Our spotlight on the French Riviera, leaving next year, April 29th through May the 7th. Be here, June 17th, 2 p.m. Give my Delta office a call to make reservations. You'll enjoy the French Riviera presentation. 636-532-0484. I'm Bob Hardcastle.
You know that honey-do list isn't getting any shorter, and you got to make a dent into it. Can I recommend going somewhere to helping you out? Schnarr's Hardware. Schnarr's Hardware has 2 locations, one in Webster and one in Ladue. One great family, 2 great hardware stores. Schnarr's Hardware. When you walk in with that list, you say, okay, I think I know how to do this one, but these 3 I need help on. And you know what? The people behind the counter at Schnarr's Hardware, that's what they do best. They have the expertise, so they can help you with electrical, help you with plumbing, painting, really anything at Schnarr's Hardware. They're small, they're compact, but it's that friendly neighborhood hardware store that has been the way it's been here in America for years, right? You remember when your grandfather took you to the hardware store. That's Schnarr's Hardware. The popcorn and the advice are free. So when you go to Schnarr's Hardware, 2 locations in Webster and in Ladue. Don't forget about the website, schnarrshardware.com. So for all of your hardware needs and that honey-do list, Schnarr's Hardware or schnarrshardware.com.
My name is Dan Head, owner of Patriot Build Sunrooms and Luna Builds. This combination makes us unique in the market. Essentially, if you dream it, we can build it. From the highest level custom finishes to more user-friendly projects, our amazing craftsmen will make it a reality. Give us a call at 314-822-3232 or visit us at our Kirkwood showroom or online at patriotbuildsstl.com.
When you own a Patriot sunroom, you've got outdoor living indoors.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
Julius Krasanik here, celebrating 54 years in this industry. My family owns Wholesale Siding Depot. That's WSDepot.com. Our seasoned customer service group has over 200 years of combined siding, window, and door experience. My grandson Elijah says,
"Are you kidding me?"
Tired of companies that like to apply pressure to sell you high-priced fiberglass or wood windows? We offer the Anderson Fibrex family of windows in styles and colors, including black, at wholesale prices. What are you waiting for? We sell truckloads of siding, windows, and doors from CertainTeed, Anderson, Viwinco, Provia, and other major brands, all at wholesale prices, while offering a free contractor referral service for your expert installation needs. Keep it local, family, and professional. Visit WSDepot.com. That's WSDepot.com.
Kuna Food Service has been the trusted food supplier in the Midwest since 1918. For over 100 years, Kuna Food Service has been distributing the highest quality food products to some of your favorite restaurants while delivering superior customer service. When a restaurant puts their trust in Kuna Food Service, they get a team that truly cares about their success. That's why at Kuna, they like to say, they're big enough to handle it, yet small enough to care. Check them out online at kunafoodservice.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, while you guys were talking, I looked up the Old Faithful Inn, which looks like the coolest.
It is so cool.
You can't believe it when you walk inside. I mean, it looks neat from the outside. Yeah. You walk in and you go, oh, my God.
It's really cool.
The listeners, Google the Old Faithful Inn. It's so cool. And I know Heidi's got an RV, and that's kind of the whole point, but I would love to stay in a hotel like this.
There are a couple. The Old Faithful, and then there was another one that's yellow. I think it's by the lake, which Yellowstone Lake is also stunning.
And isn't Mayor Lyda Cruzen's husband a tour guide out there?
You know what? That's so funny. Mike Owens, my former coworker. I think he's in a different national park because I was looking it up. And
did he become a ranger?
He became like a tour guide.
He drives like the big bus that takes people in and out.
Good for him.
The buses in Yellowstone are yellow, and the bus that he is
it was a red bus.
It was a red bus. So I have to call him and see exactly where he was. But what a great retirement!
What's the one I always get confused with? What's the one in
Yosemite?
Yosemite
in California.
That might be where it is. You know. I talked about the longhorn and the buffalo, which somebody on the text line said bison, but our tour guide said buffalo many times. We also saw wild horses and
amazing.
Pronghorn antelope were all over. They were kind of cute and have these white little behinds that you could just spot all over, but just so many fantastic things. But I mentioned when we were talking about security. So on our way back from Seattle, we went to the Gorge Amphitheater. And if you've never seen pictures of this is really an amphitheater, kind of like Riverport, just plopped in the middle of nowhere. Like 50 miles is the closest place. But you have the backdrop of this gorge that is just stunning. And so most people do camp out there. I mean, hundreds, if not thousands, of tents. And then there was one area where you could actually plug into water and electric, which is what we were going to do. But we missed our first entrance because I was following signs to a campground. So we got all the way around. And then I had to take that 33-foot RV off-roading through grass and dirt to get to our final spot.
No way.
But here's what I was going to tell you. I have never gone through security like we have gone through at the Gorge. We had to stop. We had to get out of our vehicle. 4 people, including a dog, drug-sniffing, I guess, weapon-sniffing dog, went into the RV. They opened every single drawer and cabinet. Then on the outside, I had to open every single door, and they went in with a flashlight and the dog all the way around and gave us the thumbs up, and we continued to off-road.
Well, you remember that Jason Sudeikis movie? Is it
we
called
watched
RV?
it with Jennifer Aniston, Scotty P.
They probably thought you were, filled top to bottom with marijuana.
That movie ruined it for all RV drivers.
Now you all get checked. Looks like Mike Owens is a bus driver at Glacier National Park.
Oh, so close by.
Which is
north of Yellowstone, northwest Montana,
almost
up to
on the
Canada.
border.
Up to
right
Canada.
on the border.
By the way, the Old Faithful Inn, they say they have secret rooms there. Josh.
Ooh. Is it haunted too?
I'm just saying secret rooms.
Yeah.
for secret dealings?
Yeah, maybe.
It is about 3:49. Let's check back in with Captain Paul. How's traffic? We listened a couple times, and there were a couple of days I was very happy I was not on 55 or 141.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy a couple days last week, but right now, 64 East is congested between Illinois 111 and 157, and in Flint Hill, north of Wentzville, 61 North is jammed from Route P to the Lincoln-St. Charles County line. Otherwise, the roads are in good shape. This traffic report is brought to you by the Rockwood School District. Are you looking for a new part-time or full-time job opportunity? Consider Rockwood School District with openings for custodians, cafeteria workers, and groundskeepers with great benefits, competitive pay, and flexible hours. Apply online at rsdmo.org/jobs. That's rsdmo.org/jobs. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Summer is officially here. Time for outdoor activities, sporting events, seasonal festivals, everything but cooking.
Oh, I almost forgot. Father's Day.
Treat Dad to a great breakfast. The best in St. Louis, according to the Post-Dispatch. Lunch while you're out and about, or a terrific home-style dinner. Nobody is disappointed with Gingham's. And don't forget our fabulous desserts. We're open 24 hours a day, so no matter when hunger strikes, Gingham's is open and ready to serve you.
Gingham's Homestyle Restaurant in St. Charles, 636-946-0266, or ginghamsrestaurant.com.
One thing, I try to do is not think about all the money I have to spend. But sometimes it goes through your head and you think, I got to buy this, I got to spend money on that. But the money that you spent on your house is probably the biggest single purchase you've ever made. So it makes sense to protect it. And you know what? There might be things going on up top there on the roof that you can't see. Allen Roofing can. They don't even have to go up there. They could send some drones up to have a look, find out the problem, give a diagnosis, sit down with you and say, what shall we do from here to protect that asset of yours that you spent all that money on? It only makes sense, whether it's a roof, whether it's siding, tuck pointing, anything to do with the outside of your house. They will help you protect it. Find them online at aroofing.net.
Are you or a family member needing to sell your home? Then call me, Mike Robinson with Robank Properties. I will buy your home in any condition and always as is. Call me at 314-283-0867. That's 314-283-0867. No contingencies, no inspections, just cold hard cash. I'll save you time and money. So make that call now and let me buy your house. RobankProperties.com. That's ROBANG Properties.com.
Don't miss Straight Talk on Retirement with Jeff and Aaron Lapidus every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Join this dynamic father-daughter duo every Saturday morning for an entertaining and intimate understanding of the retirement needs you may soon be facing. From decades of financial planning expertise combined with a deep knowledge of healthcare benefits, Aaron and Jeff will give you the Straight Talk on Retirement every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. right here on the Big 550 KTRS.
Mom, what do you always say? There's nothing sadder than jewelry that sits in a drawer.
That's why we are proud to offer jewelry repair on site at Newstetter's Fine Jewelry. We know that your jewelry is important to you, and we take that part of our job very seriously. Visit us at Doherty Ferry in Big Bend or learn more at wowdiamonds.com.
Galmish & Sons have been providing quality heating and cooling services since 1950. They work exclusively with Lennox, the preferred choice of St. Louis homeowners. Call Galmish & Sons for your next Lennox HVAC installation and service. 314-993-1110.
Well, former reality star Republican Spencer Pratt has fallen out of the top two in the mayor's race in L.A. Alex Stone, ABC News correspondent, joins us with the latest. Hey, Alex.
Hey there, guys. Yeah, so the vote count is still ongoing here, and it could change, but the president and others, they continue to use a slow vote count as a basis, claiming fraud. 80 to 90% of Californians vote by mail, and ballots have to be mailed by Election Day, so they are still coming in, and they've got a week to come in and then 13 days to count everything. This is how it goes in California. And normally just nobody pays attention to it. But those of us out here, we're like, this is how it always goes. But everybody says, well, California, they go blue, and it's always in a presidential election. Nobody's paying any attention because all the electoral votes go to the Democrat. But this is how it goes. And because Republicans only had one or two choices in the mayor's race and the governor's race, we knew going into it, were voting earlier, and Democrats, they were voting later because they had more choices. But that has allowed the president to claim that the Democrats are cheating and that they're stealing votes away from Republicans, even though the later votes coming in primarily belong to Democrats, and that has brought their numbers up. Still, though, the president saying to NBC's Meet the Press on Sunday that he thinks something illegal is going on.
In California, they're not. They're dropping fast because it's a rigged election. Let me tell you, it's 4 days, and they aren't even close to coming up with it. That's how they count. You know why they're doing that? Because they're cheating on the election.
Yeah, he took off his mic and walked away when he was pressed on what evidence he has that something illegal is going on in California. But so it's going to be a while even still. This is how it always goes. In Los Angeles, only 15% of registered voters are Republican. Republicans have a real uphill battle against Democrats here. But Christina Bellatoni is a vote expert at USC. She says this is not surprising that the vote count is now going to turn more Democrat based on what they knew going into it, of who was voting later and who was going to have their votes counted later.
It is totally normal that as batches of votes come in, they start to overwhelmingly favor one person because of literally the date that they were mailed.
So in the latest count, the top two are Karen Bass and her even more progressive opponent, Nithya Raman. Spencer Pratt, the former The Hill star and a Republican, has now fallen to third place. The two top go into November, but counting is still underway. He could come back up again. They still have ways to go with the counting. In the governor's race, Republican Steve Hilton has now gone to second place. Former HHS Secretary Javier Becerra is in first place. The top two there go on to November. Looks like it'll probably be those two, but we'll see as the numbers continue to come in.
And Alex, I want you to tell us how many of these elections you've covered over the years so you actually know what you're talking about. But online, everybody's claiming it's fraud because they say this councilwoman in L.A., I live in L.A., and I've never even heard of this woman. We don't know where these people actually live, but as a person who is covering L.A. politics or just even the L.A. region, how well known is Nithya Raman?
She's not. People who live in that neighborhood may know who she is. I bet you most people, if you ask them who's on the city council in L.A., they couldn't identify most of them who are on the city council, and they live in L.A. That it's not something most people know. She is not a real well-known person here in L.A. She was an ally of Karen Bass, but she is very progressive. She was part of the defund the police movement. Now she is among those wanting to hold police where they are, not add to them, not take away. So there is a segment of the population in very liberal. The city of Los Angeles County is not all that liberal. A lot of more remote areas of the county that are much more conservative. But in the city of L.A., it is very, very left. And that type of candidate does get quite a bit of support in the city of L.A. Although look at Karen Bass, a little bit more toward the middle. A lot of people would say not a lot, but a little bit more. And she has about 35% support, way beyond Nithya Raman or Spencer Pratt. Even though she is not liked, Karen Bass, her approval ratings are in the toilet. But for voters in California or in the city of Los Angeles, they seem to be mainly going to Karen Bass and then some going more to the left to Nithya Raman.
Alex, when will a winner be called? Do we know? How long does it typically take in California?
We don't know. It can be 30 days. That's when the vote has to be certified in California. Although, we know Karen Bass is advancing based on the numbers. We know Javier Becerra is advancing based on his numbers. The Associated Press, using math and knowing which votes still need to be counted and where they're coming from and what type of voters are in those areas, they will project who is moving forward, but the state and the city actually saying this is who it's going to be, it could still be many weeks.
Alex, you're right around my age. Did you ever watch The Hills?
I did
when it
not.
Was on?
That was not in my repertoire at the time, but I know a lot of people did.
And I know that you got started really young, so you probably were way more mature than I was when the show came out.
Were you a The Hills fan?
No, but I would see it here and there. I knew the players, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have anything else to admit while we're talking about reality TV?
No, but I was.
Are you a Below Deck fan like I am? Or at least I used to be. I'm kind of bored with it now.
Oh, are you over it? You watching summer? You watching
the thing
Summer
here in our
House?
newsroom that everybody's talking about is off campus. Are you watching off campus?
No, but I just saw an ad for it. Is it good?
No.
Okay.
All the women in the office believe it is.
Okay.
To me, it's a lot of shirtless, ripped men who look like they're about 35, but they're supposed to be in college. And,
Right.
It's one of these shows that seems to be replacing the old soap operas.
Yes.
Yeah. Very
The
interesting.
women here in the office seem to love it, and I said I gave it about 10 minutes when I can't watch it.
All right. Well, Alex, thank you for covering the LA election and reality TV.
You got it. Bye, guys.
Since 1976, thousands of businesses have relied upon the tax reduction strategies provided by Capital Advisory Group to help them keep more of what they earn, reduce their tax liability, and stop overpaying their federal and state income taxes. Hi, I'm Jeff Zufall, Senior Tax Strategist and Wealth Advisor at Capital Advisory Group and the author of the 2 #1 best-selling books on taxes, Keep What's Yours and Keeping What's Yours. We're celebrating 50 years helping small businesses grow and thrive by minimizing the financial risk to their businesses, reducing their tax liability, and growing their wealth using strategic tax planning. The Fed is hinting that inflation and interest rates will continue to rise in the months ahead. If you're relying on investment advice from someone who isn't familiar with the tax strategy and feel like you might be paying more than your fair share in taxes, give us a call, 636-394-5524, capitaladvisorygrp.com. Again, the number is 636-394-5524.
This is the Big 550 KTRS St. Louis, Wildwood, De Pere, Columbia, and the world. Streaming live at KTRS.com.
From ABC News, I'm Lindsay Davis, anchor Prime, streaming weeknights on ABC News Live. President Trump is trying to keep his negotiations and ceasefire with Iran from literally and physically blowing up. Iran and Israel say they have stopped attacks. ABC's Jonathan Karl.
The president did an interview with the Financial Times, and he said that Benjamin Netanyahu would have to go along with whatever peace deal he gets with Iran. He won't have any choice. I call the shots. But despite all of that, Israel obviously went on and attacked Iran.
Ukraine says Russian drones attacked a nuclear storage site near Chernobyl, but radiation levels are stable after nearly 500,000 Russian troops have been killed in the war. This from ABC's Ian Pannell in Moscow.
We have managed to speak to some people here, including some who said, look, they supported Vladimir Putin. They thought that there was a justification for the start of the war, but now there are doubts.
Security's boosted for President Trump's visit to attend the third game of the NBA championship just hours away in New York. The NYPD has moved the Knicks watch party outside Madison Square Garden for security reasons. Matt McCool with the Secret Service.
You will see Secret Service, police, and special agents, transportation security officers, federal air marshals, and the NYPD officers throughout the area.
The Knicks lead the series 2-0 for the San Antonio Spurs. An offshore magnitude 7.8 earthquake hit the southern Philippines today, killing at least 35 people, injuring more than 140 others, officials say. Ohio police say an 18-year-old is in custody for questioning in connection to the mass shooting over the weekend at a summer festival in Toledo. 12 people were injured. March through May was the second warmest spring on record, behind 2012 in the lower 48 states of the U.S. That from a new report from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico, and Texas had their warmest spring since recording began in 1895. On Wall Street, the major indexes were mixed at the start of trading. You're listening to ABC News.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Jane Dawson did something smart. She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With the money she saved, she got herself a pricey bird feeder with an ultra-high-def camera. Should Jane have just bought a regular bird feeder? Yes. Is it hard for her to admire nature when the camera doubles as the bird's potty? Also, yes. But it's Jane's savings, and if she wants to spend her time watching the digestive habits of the white-breasted nuthatch, we say you go, girl. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
I never thought of myself as the type to settle down. Never knew where the team's next lunch was coming from. But then I met you, Easy Cater.
Workplaces everywhere are saying, I do want delicious food at work. And they're ordering from beloved restaurants with Easy Cater.
You were reliable. You had great options for every budget, even when marketing ops did keto again. We got through that together. With you, it's just so easy. Easy Cater, will you keep showing up at my workplace forever?
Find love at first lunch. Order at easycater.com.
Good afternoon. It is 85 degrees at 4:03. I'm David Solomon, and here's what's happening. A St. Louis man is in police custody after being arrested and accused of sexually molesting a 6-year-old inside the Bridgeton Target. Rayshawn Manuel has been charged with 1 count of child molestation and 1 count of statutory or attempted statutory sodomy of a child less than 12 years old. Court records say Manuel allegedly followed the female victim to a clothing rack inside the store where he touched her inappropriately and pulled down her pants. Manuel then stepped away and gestured for the victim to follow him. The girl instead ran to find her mother, who called authorities. Police found Manuel at a nearby gas station 10 minutes after arriving at the scene and took him into custody. He is currently being held on a $200,000 cash-only bond. The city of Baldwin is considering new regulations for e-bikes and electric motorcycles. KTRS's Jill Enders has the story.
This comes after Baldwin police say they are receiving daily complaints, such as riders using these bikes on roadways and sidewalks. A proposal is scheduled to be presented at tonight's Baldwin City Council meeting, which would update the city code surrounding e-bikes and electric motorcycles. Some of the proposed changes include requiring helmets for riders under 17, banning certain mini bikes and go-karts from public roads and parks, and restricting some higher e-bikes to riders 16 and older. Police also want stronger enforcement and penalties for reckless riding and unauthorized use on private property. Jill Enders, KTRS News.
Franklin County residents are being warned to stay on the lookout for bears. The Washington and Union police departments have received multiple reports of bear sightings in recent days. The Washington Police Department received multiple reports on Saturday, while Union Police reported 2 sightings within the city limits on Friday. Police are urging residents who come in contact with a bear to keep their distance, avoid approaching or feeding the bear, and keeping pets indoors or on a leash, and allowing the bear plenty of space to move through the area. Both departments say they have not received any reports of aggressive behavior, and they believe the bear is a juvenile just passing through the area. And if you like to drink late into the night, you won't have to curtail your fun at 3 a.m. in St. Louis City during the 2026 World Cup. The city has announced that it is not opting out of a temporary state law that will allow licensed restaurants and bars to sell alcohol from 6 a.m. until 5 a.m. starting this Thursday through July 19th. The new law is designed to accommodate international visitors to the Show Me State, which will be hosting World Cup matches in Kansas City. Those visitors may be accustomed to purchasing alcohol at different hours of the day. Individual municipalities and counties have the option of opting out of the extended hours, and institutions may also maintain their regular hours. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. One of the last drive-in movie theaters in the region is on the market. Jerry Davidson of Prestige Realty Group posted on Facebook that the Skyview Drive-In in Belleville is for sale. The post adds that the nearly 80-year-old drive-in is not shutting down and is looking for serious commercial inquiries to carry on the legacy. Now let's take a look at those closing market numbers brought to you by JBL Financial. Join Jeff and Aaron Lapidus Saturday mornings from 9 to 11 for Straight Talk on Retirement. The Dow Jones Industrial Index closed down 80 points at 50,786. The NASDAQ up 220 points to 25,929. And the S&P 500 up 22 points to 7,405. KTRS News Time is 4:07. Let's head over to the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk, where Paul Kopsky has the latest news in the world of sports.
David, the 25-year wait is over. The SLU and Mizzou men's basketball teams will be meeting on the hardwood at Enterprise Center on Friday, November 6th. This will be the first matchup in a 3-game series. You can hear more about it tonight on the Big Sports Show with Brendan Weesey from 7 to 9 on the home of the Tigers, the Big 550 KTRS. And the Cardinals are off today after completing a sweep of the Reds over the weekend at Busch. The Birds begin a series with the Mets in New York tomorrow. I'm Paul Kopsky from the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk, and now on to traffic. An accident on 55 South north of Bayless is causing stop-and-go traffic back to Carondelet. 64 West is crowded from Kings Highway to McCausland, and 64 East is congested between Illinois 111 and 157. This traffic report is brought to you by the Quarry at Crystal Springs Golf Course. The Quarry at Crystal Springs delivers a convenient and affordable golf course that is a true test of any player's game. 4 sets of tees will allow players of all abilities to choose the course length that will best suit their enjoyment. Visit them today. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
And taking a look at that KTRS First Alert forecast. Tonight, you can expect mostly cloudy skies with a chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorm with an overnight low around 72. Then tomorrow, a heat advisory is in effect for most of the KTRS listening area from noon through 9 p.m. as heat indices could reach 108 as we have a high near 93. And tomorrow night, mostly clear with a low around 74. Right now, we have mostly cloudy skies, 85 degrees with a heat index of 92 underneath the Gold Tower at Westport Plaza in Maryland Heights. I'm David Solomon, KTRS News, on the Talk of St. Louis.
If it's time to replace your windows and doors, choose Pella Windows and Doors of St. Louis. Pella's trusted local experts work in your area and within your budget, backed by the most preferred window and door brand by homeowners. For a limited time, get 20% off Pella projects. Call 833-87-PELLA or visit pella.com/radio. Restrictions apply. See site for details. Study of homeowner perceptions of leading national brands. Study commissioned by Pella 2023.
I'm Farmer Dave, and here's my good friend and owner of MasterCars Inc., Alex Rosenberger, with today's hot MasterCars Inc. deals.
Thanks, Farmer Dave. We are very busy buying, selling, and trading some very impressive luxury and performance vehicles. I have bought a lot of great cars and motorcycles from Big 550 listeners this month and need more. If you have a super clean performance or luxury vehicle, what about a very low-mile everyday car? Classic car? Pristine, hard-to-find motorcycle? Entire collection? I'm interested in buying if so. Hop on our site and submit your vehicle, MasterCarsInc.com. We'll reach out right away. It's okay if you still owe money. We'll make the payoff on your behalf and cut a check for your equity. Very simple, all local, all face-to-face. We buy, sell, and trade every day.
So rev that motor and point your car in the direction of MasterCars Inc. and buy or sell today. 4100 Amioki Road in Granite City, or visit MasterCarsInc.com to get more details. That's MasterCarsInc.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show
With Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey.
on the Big 550 KTRS.
Headlines for this Monday afternoon, June 8th. We didn't see any bears when we were out west, but bear sightings have prompted warnings here in Franklin County. Franklin County residents are being urged to stay bear aware after several recent sightings of a black bear in the area. The Washington Police Department reported receiving multiple reports of a bear on Saturday. While it's definitely exciting to spot wildlife, please resist the urge to go looking for it, take selfies with it, or see how close you can get. The police said on Facebook, the bear would much rather be left alone, and that's exactly what we want residents to do. So they're reminding residents to keep their distance. Just a short distance away in Union, Missouri, police reported 2 sightings within the city limits on Friday based on information received. They believe the bear was a juvenile just kind of passing through. Both departments said the bear hasn't shown any aggressive behavior, but still be safe. Wildlife experts say sightings like these are becoming more common as the bear population expands. The black bear population is growing rapidly and expanding into new areas, according to Laura Conley, an animal resource scientist for the Missouri Department of Conservation and the state's bear biologist. Right now, our bears are choosy and select high-quality forested habitat, but we know they are adaptable and capable of using more marginal areas, which can bring them closer to humans. So be careful. If you do see a bear, you're asked to report the sighting to the Missouri Department of Conservation, which uses public reports to track black bear range expansion and nuisance issues.
I would like for us to get a conservation person on to talk about the plan. Many of these species not too long ago were close to extinction.
Yeah.
Especially in certain areas.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing them back is great, but when is there too many?
Right.
I mean, do you feel like you need to go out to Rockwood with bear spray when you go on a hike? You know what I mean? And I'm not saying, I'm just curious as to what the plan is.
Yeah.
I'm not taking a
We
position.
do need to get somebody on and talk about it. And then just other wildlife that's here in Missouri, because that's another thing we started Googling. Okay, we have all of these things in Wyoming and South Dakota.
Yeah.
What do we have here in Missouri other than, of course, deer and turkey and pheasants and quail and, I just know what my dad hunts.
And here's another one. And Jen saw one, and on our little neighborhood Facebook or whatever, said keep your cats in at night because there are fox roaming around our neighborhood. What's the law? What if a fox gets your cat? What are you allowed to do? I don't know these answers. That's why we need a conservationist on.
We have a fox in Newtown, the Newtown Fox.
What's her name? Sorry, it was cheap. I apologize.
Recently divorced.
Diana.
Yeah. Way to play along, guy.
But caught on some cameras and everything, and we've even seen him out during the daytime. I went out to throw the trash away, and he ran right past me. He's got a real long, scraggly tail. But then I looked around on our walk last night, and I said, I could probably point to 8 rabbits right now.
What's he doing?
What's the fox doing?
Come on, buddy.
Sleeping.
Pick it up.
Yeah.
Pick it up.
Come on. All right. Bob, your story.
I don't normally do sports stuff in this segment. We save it for Brendan Weesey, who will be in with us a little bit later. But this one, I think many people who listen to the Big 550 love college football.
Mm-hmm.
Love college football. We're the home of the Missouri Tigers. We're the biggest station to carry Tiger football. And I think this is going to have ripples all the way through that particular sport. Texas Tech star Brendan Sorsby has been granted a temporary injunction against the NCAA that could clear the way for him to play for the Red Raiders in this coming season, even after the transfer quarterback was declared ineligible for wagering on college sports. That's being generous.
Do you have there how many times he bet on his own team?
It's unbelievable. It's coming up. Judge Ken Curry ruled that Sorsby's attorneys demonstrated he will suffer probable imminent irreparable injury.
Why do I care?
Why should anybody care? In fact, once I give you the stat, you'll say he should feel injury. And moreover, instead of a lifetime ban, which is what you should get, he only has to miss the first 2 games. Well, if you agree to have him miss 2 games, you're agreeing that he did something wrong.
I think Tom Brady missed 4 games for that deflated balls thing.
Sorsby was ruled ineligible by the NCAA after it discovered he had wagered approximately $90,000 on professional and college sports over 4 years, including 40 bets involving Indiana football when he was a freshman with the Hoosiers. Texas denied Texas Tech's appeal for reinstatement, and the NCAA president, Charlie Baker, went on to say there is no better example of why targeted intervention from Congress is necessary when you have schools and deep-pocketed supporters willing to look the other way on the glaring integrity threat of betting on your own team, and judges whose rulings effectively strip away our ability to stop them. Only Congress can equip the NCAA to apply the common sense rule for everyone. Sorsby acknowledged placing at least 2,900 bets, totaling more than $30,000 during his 2 years in Indiana, and at least 165 bets, totaling at least $38,000 during his 2 years at Cincinnati. Since transferring to Texas Tech this January, he has acknowledged spending more than $65,000 to friends to cover bets made on his behalf during his college career. This is, I just don't know how this judge can do this, but this is the only time you'll ever hear me say the federal government needs to step in to fix it. Normally they ruin everything, but I don't think this time.
I can't believe that they're the only ones that can step in and say this is wrong, or say we're the only ones with the power to fix this.
Well, the NCAA isn't going to do much.
They lose every lawsuit because they're not given the authority through the courts or the federal government. They need exemption for some of these things, not full blown, but it needs to be addressed.
Pete Rose was banned for life and died and is still not in the Hall of Fame, and yet this kid's going to be able to play even though he bet 40 times on his own team.
Yeah.
Ugh, it's incredible. I'm sure Brendan will have more if he... everybody's just disgusted by it, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I just can't believe that, our hands are tied. That's the dumbest thing. It's your league. Do something about it. Speaking of gambling and on sports, FanDuel, which is out at the FanDuel Sportsbook and Horse Racing, I think that name has changed, out at Fairmount Park. FanDuel is closing its sportsbook.
What?
At Fairmount Park.
Why?
A couple years ago, they opened one, and then they even added a casino with 200 different slot machines.
Sounds like a good idea.
But there was also a sportsbook window where you can go up and hand them cash and say, I want to bet on Brendan Sorsby. What team is he on now?
Texas Tech. Whatever game,
I want to bet on Texas Tech. They're closing it because they said everybody's doing it on their phone now.
Yeah.
I was over...
Except you can't bet on the horses on your phone.
You can still bet on the horses at Fairmount Park.
At the window.
But you can't bet on the Chiefs game or the college football game or the baseball game.
Got it.
I was at Horseshoe, walking over to the Battlehawks, and I said, hey, anybody want to swing by the sports book and put a bet on the game? And then I realized I already did one on my phone.
Right.
And then if I win, it goes straight to my phone. I never have to come back to this window. It almost seems obsolete at this point.
I think you're right. I'm not a bettor, so my take is a little bit different. When I do go to Las Vegas, it's fun just to go hang out in the sports book.
Yeah.
The atmosphere is really cool. Every game is up on big screens. But for bettors, degenerate bettors like Josh, I say that affectionately.
Sure, thank you.
That you got it on your phone. Why go over there? I get the reality of the phone betting.
It's so silly, but when we were in Vegas the last time, we actually, how you can pay to stay at a table. And we did, even though we weren't betting, we just wanted to watch all the games and have a decent seat there. I've been talking a lot about my trip out west and everywhere that we went, but I didn't tell you that when we were in Yellowstone, we passed two big buses that said Colette. Colette takes people everywhere. And in case you forgot, Colette is going to take myself and Marcia and whoever wants to come with us to Iceland and go in search of those magical northern lights. This is what's fantastic. Unlike this last trip that I went on in the RV where I had to plan every single stop and figure out if we were going to do a tour or what was going on, Colette takes care of everything. Each hotel stop, every tour, making sure we have a tour guide each night that we go out in search of those fantastic northern lights. So you don't have to worry about a thing. You just take in all of the scenery, the steaming lava fields, the massive glacier sculpted mountains and valleys, and of course, take a dip in the Blue Lagoon and have the time of your life. You can sign up and learn more by calling Altair Travel 314-968-9600. That's 314-968-9600. You can also go to our website, ktrs.com, to learn more.
Dr. Joe, it can get very confusing, but the one thing we need to know is GLP-1, right? That's the magic cure.
Yeah, they're on the med, and these medications are used, these GLP-1s, for reducing inflammation in your body. I get so many folks that are like, wow, I don't have the knee pain. I don't have the...
Because once you start losing weight, all these other things naturally happen to you in a positive way. Not just talk about the deals for KTRS listeners at stlmedweightloss.com.
All KTRS listeners, they get $50 to $100 off their first month. And what's beautiful about it, too, hey, I get it. The economy, what we just had, guys, things are difficult right now, but we make the plan work for you. We have financing options. We make this work for you because we realize how important it is to get down in your weight, get your confidence back, and really start feeling like the old you.
Call stlmedweightloss.com and ask Dr. Joe. stlmedweightloss.com.
What if every day felt like the weekend? At Innsbruck Resort, it can. Enjoy lakes, trails, golf, live music, family fun, and delicious on-site dining, all just outside St. Louis. Whether you're looking for the perfect getaway, a vacation home, a full-time residence, or a place to build your dream retreat, discover a lifestyle designed around relaxation, recreation, and connection. Learn more at innsbruck-resort.com.
Are you looking for a deck? I am. And you know who I turn to? Outdoor Living and Pat Leahy. They've been a sponsor for a long time, and they've done some other projects for me, but this one's the big one. It's going to have metal framing, composite decking, and when it's all said and done, he's going to put a 50-year warranty on it. Not because I'm his spokesperson for all these years, but because I am a customer. Outdoor Living takes care of St. Louis. So if you're looking for a deck that will survive the heat and the winter and the sun and everything else, Outdoor Living, Big Bend and I-44 in Kirkwood. Outdoor Living, or OutdoorLivingInc.com.
One thing, I try to do is not think about all the money I have to spend. But sometimes it goes through your head and you think, I got to buy this, I got to spend money on that. But the money that you spent on your house is probably the biggest single purchase you've ever made. So it makes sense to protect it. And you know what? There might be things going on up top there on the roof that you can't see. Allen Roofing can. They don't even have to go up there. They could send some drones up to have a look, find out the problem, give a diagnosis, sit down with you and say, what shall we do from here to protect that asset of yours that you spent all that money on? It only makes sense, whether it's a roof, whether it's siding, tuck pointing, anything to do with the outside of your house. They will help you protect it. Find them online at aroofing.net.
You're selling your home, and I want to buy it. This is Mike Robinson with Robank Properties, and I am ready to pay top dollar for your home. No contingencies, no inspections, no monkey business. I buy your home no matter the condition or location, and you walk away with cash. Call me, Mike Robinson, at 314-283-0867, 314-283-0867, or at robankproperties.com. That's ROBANG properties.com.
Don't miss Straight Talk on Retirement with Jeff and Aaron Lapidus every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Join this dynamic father-daughter duo every Saturday morning for an entertaining and intimate understanding of the retirement needs you may soon be facing. From decades of financial planning expertise combined with a deep knowledge of healthcare benefits, Aaron and Jeff will give you the Straight Talk on Retirement every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. right here on the Big 550 KTRS. You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS. It's Monday, and that means news, politics, lighthearted topics, and everything St. Louis and beyond. It's Ryan Kroll from St. Louis Magazine on the Big 550 KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
Well, Ryan, this is interesting. We have something to talk about with the police board, and it's not another lawsuit.
I know. I can't believe it, right? I think it does involve fighting, though, so no surprise there.
Of course. So what is going on now?
Sure. So last week, late Monday night, the police board announced that they wanted to give command staff, sort of the top-ranking officers, pretty big raises, like 20% raises in some cases. And then just a few minutes after that, I think it was around 9 or 10 in the evening, Mayor Kara Spencer also announced that she opposed this move. And it's kind of technical why she opposes it. She's very much in favor of the police being paid more, but there's two reasons that she doesn't want this top command staff to get these double-digit raises. And it basically has to do with the fact that we're about to begin the new fiscal year for the city. It starts on July 1st. And the city's pretty much got their budget for next year all wrapped up and ready to go. But if they give more money to these top-ranking police officers, not only does that alter the police budget, but there's these few sentences in the very old city charter that says anytime you give a raise to the police officers, you have to give an equal raise to the firefighters. So it basically makes the folks who kind of count the beans for the city, if these raises get passed, they got to go back to the drawing board and really quickly figure out where they're going to come up with millions of dollars of money for not just for the the police officers, but also for the fire department. So she opposed it because it would require a lot of reshuffling of funds in a very short amount of time before the new fiscal year begins July 1st.
So Ryan, it's kind of hard to decide, and we in the public tend to say they do deserve that, they don't deserve that, without all of the facts. 20% raise seems pretty outrageous. When's the last time they had a raise? Or are they kind of behind the times as far as getting money earned? How does all that kind of weigh in on this story?
Yeah, so I think it was about 2 years ago, maybe slightly more than 2 years ago. Every police officer in the city got a 7% raise.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and then the previous raises before that were not too. I think it was in 2021. There was also a similar raise. I think everyone agrees that there is this problem where the city police kind of become the de facto training ground for like Sunset Hills or Chesterfield, where a young officer will get a few years experience in the city, and then they become like a really desirable job candidate in a municipality that pays more. So I think that is a very real problem. There's a few things there. One, the city has like an amazing retirement system that puts all the others to shame. So that's not always reflected in just the pay. There's just sort of the benefits that don't always show up necessarily in the day-to-day paycheck. And then there's the fact that these command staff, the folks who the 20% raised was proposed for, they're not really the ones getting poached by like a Chesterfield or a St. Charles. It tends to be like the younger guys with just a few years in who are the ones who tend to leave. So there was some sort of questioning, well, is this really the best way to sort of retain officers when it's kind of the beat cops, the entry-level guys who maybe we need to be giving more money to?
And that was my question. Is this the conversation? We need to retain, not only keep the ones we have, but we're down 100 officers at least, and that was their own count. Would this draw more police officers to the city?
Well, I think I'm a little bit skeptical of that. I mean, I think it might help some folks already here stay here, but I think paying the top brass, and I think it's only like something like 100 guys or 75 officers, who meet this requirement. It's sort of a department where the vast majority of officers are either, I think they call it privates, just sort of like beat cops, or sergeants. So these raises wouldn't help those folks at all. It's only for the kind of top-ranking command staff. But what some people say is there's this what they call a compression issue, where you have these sergeants who they actually don't want to get promoted into like a lieutenant or lieutenant colonel because they're basically already making quite a good salary as a sergeant, and they're also allowed to have overtime. So, whereas the command staff, these guys are making like six figures, but they can't work any overtime. So you might have a sergeant who maybe makes, $95,000 a year, but then he can make, quite a bit of money on overtime. So I get why he wouldn't want to take the promotion. It's more responsibility, and it's less money overall. So, I mean, I think that I totally agree with the mayor on the timing of this. Like, the timing is just terrible, but I can kind of see both sides in general about why you might want to pay some of these top guys a little bit more. Maybe not 20%, but definitely I could see a healthy raise for them. But 20% does seem like quite a bit.
And the judge said that the police board can't force the city to use Rams money on this, right?
Yeah, that came down last week as well. It's kind of another win for the mayor in her somewhat uphill battle against the police board. But yeah, basically the police board wanted to spend roughly 1/5 of the Rams money on this year, 2026's police budget, and a judge said you can't do that.
So right now it's just all paused, and then it will be picked up again, or what's next?
Yeah, so basically the police board initially proposed to pass the raises for command staff at a meeting that was last week. The mayor made some of these arguments. I just talked about it, kind of more about the timing than anything, the way it would just really throw a wrench in the city's budget process. And the police board agreed to postpone the vote until next week. So we'll see what happens then. I could really see this one going both ways, but it'll be Wednesday morning when they meet next Wednesday morning.
Well, you have another interesting story, and explain to me what's going on with a St. Peter's man and his sunflowers.
Yeah, this poor guy, Chris Bank. So he really loves sunflowers, and his front yard in St. Peter's, is the majority of the front lawn is sunflowers. I think it's something like 600 sunflowers in the front yard. And this runs afoul of a St. Peter's municipal ordinance that says that your front lawn needs to be at least 70% grass.
Huh.
So he got a ticket, and he took it to court, and he lost in court. And then a sort of libertarian-minded attorney, this guy named Beavis Schock, who's very, very much a fan of finding ways to kind of, keep the government hand out of your pocket, keep the government, out of your front lawn. He actually took up this guy's case, and it went to appellate court. And the sunflower grower, he won at appellate court. Now, it's a little bit tricky, but basically that win means is he doesn't necessarily get to keep his sunflowers, but he does get a new trial in front of a jury. So previously he could only have what was called a bench trial, which means that the trial would be in front of a judge and then a judge would decide. But now his attorney, Beavis Schock, has won in appellate court, and so this sunflower man will get a trial in front of a jury. And the idea is that the letter of the law is pretty much against this guy growing his sunflowers. It's kind of in black and white. You have to have 70% of your lawn be grass. But his attorney's hoping that he might be able to essentially convince a jury that this is just a dumb law and they should ignore it and let this man have his sunflowers.
Interesting.
What do you guys think? Should there be a law against this? I mean, it probably looks goofy if you drive past it, but he pays his property taxes. He bought the land. It's his house.
I don't have a problem with flowers as much as I do like an old ratty chain link fence or trash in the yard with tires and different things.
Overgrowth here and there.
I agree with you generally, but specifically they have laws on
That's
the books
right. And
in
maybe,
that community. If you want to live in that community, you got to go by it.
Yeah, I agree.
There's another guy, I don't remember where he lives, Ryan, but he's got, he calls it wild grasses and wildflowers.
Yeah.
It might be natural, but it looks really bad.
Oh, man. I will say in defense of Chris, the sunflower man, these sunflowers are in like very neat rows. So it looks very intentional. 'Cause I know what you're talking about the wild grass and just kind of letting nature do its thing. This guy puts a lot of effort into these sunflowers. You can tell just glancing at it.
And he doesn't have any grass at all?
Well, he has some grass, but and this was and trust me, this definitely came up during that trial where they were arguing about, what does it mean for the surface area to be grass or sunflowers. So these sunflowers are pretty tall, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 feet. And they're planted over grass, but your eye doesn't necessarily go to the grass, right? It goes to the giant sunflowers. So he made that argument. He said, there's a ton of grass here. It's just kind of there's 600 sunflowers growing out of it as well.
Yeah, I'm looking at the picture from your story, St. Louis Magazine, stlmag.com. Just look up Ryan Kroll's name. I mean, the sunflowers are there, but so's the grass.
And how long does a sunflower last? Not that long, because that's why so many people replant them unless maybe he has a system.
That's the other thing. Yeah, I think they only bloom for like a month or 6 weeks. So that is definitely a sort of makes it look like the city of St. Peter's is making a mountain out of a molehill here. Because, the majority of the year, it's just a relatively normal lawn.
All right, so you guys, Heidi's going to say, today Josh just learned. But a couple years ago at the corner of Big Bend and Forest Park Parkway, remember where that copy center was? It used to be a restaurant. Everybody always talked about how there was a restaurant there right by WashU.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Somebody's growing sunflowers that are like by the sidewalk. And I've always wondered, how do you get the seed out of a sunflower? And I really kind of dug into this thing and pulled out a seed, and I go, so in that whole brown thing in the middle, it's filled with seeds.
It has seeds.
Yeah.
Filled with sunflower seeds.
I'm not the only one that's saying, and Josh just learned this.
I couldn't believe it. Blew my mind.
Ryan, it's always fun reading your stories and following up with you. And as Josh just mentioned, you can read all of Ryan's reports online at stlmag.com.
Hey, you guys take care. And Josh, you're never too old to learn a new thing, right?
That's right.
So true.
The whole thing is filled with seeds.
The plant has seeds.
Guys.
Yep.
You won't believe it until you actually see it yourself.
It has seeds.
Pretty wild.
Wow. And there are plants everywhere. It's just amazing. actually. All right, look at that. It's already 4:38. We got to check in with Captain Paul, see how traffic's moving.
Heidi, an accident on 55 South north of Bayless is causing stop-and-go traffic back to Carondelet. 64 West is crowded from Boyle to McCausland. 64 East is heavy from 170 to Big Bend. 44 West slow between Washington and 10th Street. There's road work with lane closures on 6455 West between 64 and the Poplar Street Bridge, and 64 East is congested between Illinois 111 and 157. This traffic report is brought to you by the Rockwood School District. Are you looking for a new part-time or full-time job opportunity? Consider Rockwood School District with openings for custodians, cafeteria workers, and groundskeepers with great benefits, competitive pay, and flexible hours. Apply online at rsdmo.org/jobs. That's rsdmo.org/jobs. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
And I'll tell you what else blew my mind when I figured out how taxes actually work. Now, I'm not going to say I'm an expert, okay? Don't come running to me with your tax returns, but ever since I started doing the show with Jeff Zufall, he is the tax expert, with Capital Advisory Group, I realized, oh my gosh, I am paying way too much in taxes. Not because the IRS is ripping me off, not because, I made a bunch of money moves last year or I haven't adjusted my withholdings. I'm paying too much in taxes because I'm not using the tax code the way that it was written. Sure, it was written for corporations and billionaires, but they threw a couple of extra bones in there for people like you and me, and we can use the tax code just like they can. Well, not just like they can. They could use it a lot more, but we can use it too, and the whole idea is to give Jeff a call, say, here's 2 years of tax returns, here's a couple of check stubs, take a look at it and tell me, where can I keep more of what's mine? And he can do that for you. Now's a good time because there's still 6 months left in the year, 6 months of tax keepings. Jeff Zufall, Capital Advisory Group, capitaladvisorygrp.com is the website. And you can call him, 636-394-5524. Oh, yeah, and that show we do on the weekends, Keep What's Yours, Saturdays at 3 p.m.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
You know, that honey-do list isn't getting any shorter, and you got to make a dent into it. Can I recommend going somewhere to helping you out? Schnarr's Hardware. Schnarr's Hardware has 2 locations, one in Webster and one in Ladue. One great family, 2 great hardware stores. Schnarr's Hardware. When you walk in with that list, you say, okay, I think I know how to do this one, but these 3 I need help on. And you know what? The people behind the counter at Schnarr's Hardware, that's what they do best. They have the expertise, so they can help you with electrical, help you with plumbing, painting, really anything at Schnarr's Hardware. They're small, they're compact, but it's that friendly neighborhood hardware store that has been the way it's been here in America for years, right? You remember when your grandfather took you to the hardware store. That's Schnarr's Hardware. The popcorn and the advice are free. So when you go to Schnarr's Hardware, 2 locations in Webster and in Ladue. Don't forget about the website, schnarrshardware.com. So for all of your hardware needs and that honey-do list, Schnarr's Hardware, or schnarrshardware.com.
I'm Mark Miller, owner of Miller Furniture and Mattress, your home for quality American-made furniture since 1927. We offer the largest selection of Amish-made furniture in the St. Louis area, plus quality living room furniture from Flex Steel and Smith Brothers. We carry top-quality mattresses from world-famous brands like Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, and Chatham & Wells. Shop our Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, and Ellisville showrooms. At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture.
Okay, you've decided you want to get away, you want to travel, you want to see the world. Let Altair Travel and Cruises handle all the details. You handle all the fun. You don't know where to stay. You don't have to worry about transfers. What about your luggage? What about a tour guide? You don't want a tour guide. Lewis and Clark had a tour guide. You're in a different country. You want to go see the Sistine Chapel. You're going to need a tour guide. Let Altair Travel handle all those details. You handle all the fun. 314-968-9600. Altair Travel or altairtravel.com.
Accomplishing goals is hard. But when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. Babbel is designed with you in mind. From expert-created lessons to conversational video units and even live classes, you can personalize your Babbel experience to be exactly what you need to really learn a new language more easily. Go ahead, set a goal for yourself. Accomplish it with Babbel. Try Babbel for free. Go to BABBEL.com. That's Babbel.com.
Kohl's Father's Day gifts are so good, Dad won't be able to stop bragging about them. To his friends, to his barber, to the server who did not ask. He'll even brag to you, the person who literally bought it for him. From comfy polos and stylish shoes, to his favorite cologne and cool tech, get gifts Dad'll be talking about for months at Kohl's and Kohl's.com. You've been warned. Select styles. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
I trust Pella Windows and Doors of St. Louis with my home when it matters most. They are the local experts who know our area best. For a limited time, get 20% off Pella projects. Call 833-87-PELLA or visit Pella.com/radio to learn more. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
More of this, please.
That's for Heidi, her big trip out west to see her favorite bands.
Mm-hmm.
Heidi has turned me on to the Highway Women, and I'm becoming a huge fan.
They've got
They're
some
really
good stuff.
Really good.
Yeah.
But I've always kind of had a thing for all-star games, bands jamming together.
Seeing the best of the best.
Yeah.
And when they all when their voices meld together
it's
in
beautiful.
such a great way, it's really cool.
Yeah.
All right, I want to mention something that happened to me out here in Westport last week. I think it was last Thursday. I don't know why I didn't bring it up last Friday. But I go out to my car after work on Thursday.
In the garage.
In the garage. And I get in, and the center console is up.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, that's weird. And then I start driving, and I go, why is that up? And so I, pulled off into one of the parking spots, and I started looking around. And it became clear to me that I was violated.
And that's how it feels.
It does. And so what was missing? What was in there?
So I'll start from the beginning. My car is about 10 years old now. Every time Connor gets in it, he makes jokes about how it's a beater.
It's not, though. It's fine.
My car's 10 years old.
It's not. I've got a great car.
Yeah, no, it is a good car.
Yeah.
But I don't leave anything of value in it.
Right.
So lately,
Do you leave it unlocked?
I've started leaving it unlocked.
Oh.
Or maybe I lock it, maybe I don't.
I think
Who
you forget
cares?
that this is a hotel garage.
I know.
I don't want to blame the victim,
I don't
but
either.
you got to lock stuff
I know.
up.
And when I think about it, I'm like, who's going to look at this thing and think there's something valuable inside? But I did take inventory. I'm missing my Excedrin migraine headache medicine.
Yeah.
A car charger, and wet wipes, which we keep in there because Finn will inevitably get sticky somehow.
Well, maybe it was a mother at one of these baseball tournaments and she was desperate.
And my wife goes, man, is that a sign of the times that somebody breaks in your car and steals the wet wipes?
They had cotton candy or something for lunch. So let me ask you, both of you guys, this. I often have the top down on the Bronco.
I was thinking the same thing because I often have my top down.
I just hope that people in the hotel aren't listening to the show this moment. I usually have my baseball stuff in there.
Mm-hmm. But
And I
when
do
you lock
want-
the door, an alarm would go off
Yes.
if they kind of dipped a hand in.
Unless they want to just climb over.
But I think it would still go
You
off.
think so?
I
Is
know
someone
my
gonna
car will.
run away when an alarm goes off?
I would
you
hope
know?
so because there's usually somebody else in that garage.
yeah.
But with cars like that, with the Jeeps and everything, right? They have the lock boxes. They have the center
That's
console
what I gotta
that
get, a
locks
lock
up.
box.
Does your center console lock?
And the glove compartment both.
And you have a key for that?
Yeah.
Okay, Heidi, you have a convertible.
Mm-hmm.
Generally speaking, they don't really, put a lockbox on a nice convertible like that. But do you ever use the glove box and lock it up when you pull into a parking space?
There's nothing in that glove box
do you
that
put the
anybody would
hood up?
want.
You don't put...
I leave the top down and I lock it with the alarm on and cross my fingers.
Yeah.
Do you roll the windows up?
Nope.
Okay.
I roll the windows up.
You do roll the windows up. Okay. Well, I was
So
just...
you'd have to put in a big effort.
I will say, even myself, like when I've gone to Target or the grocery store and I come back with the top down and I start to put the groceries in the back and just reach over before I've grabbed my keys the alarm goes off and everybody looks at me.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even get the bag down and it's going off.
Some layer of security.
Yeah.
But I kind of looked around the rest of the car just to make sure nothing gross was, left
Right.
in there or whatever. But I did feel somewhat violated. But all they really got away with was a $5 charger.
Did you?
But my wet wipes.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a big one.
Did you lock the doors today?
I did.
Good.
Okay.
Good for
I
you.
will.
Hey,
I will continue.
somebody on the text line said, "What is a hotel garage?" We share a garage with the hotel that we're
The
connected to.
Sheraton next door.
Yeah, we're at
here in
Westport. Westport, there's an office complex, Rawlings. There's a number of companies here, and the Westport area has a really big garage, above ground and underground.
Which is really nice to
It's
have,
really nice.
especially on a day like today
Yes.
where it's raining. It is about 10 minutes before 5 o'clock. Captain Paul, how's traffic moving on this Monday?
Well, not too bad, Heidi. We do have a crash on 55 South at 255, blocking the two right lanes. An accident on 55 South north of Bayless is causing stop-and-go traffic back to Carondelet. There's a stalled vehicle on 64 East at Shoto and Boyle with stop-and-go traffic back to Tower Grove. 64 West is crowded from Boyle to McCausland. 64 East is heavy from 170 to Big Bend. 44 East is slow between the King Bridge and 55-64. There's road work with lane closures on 64-55 West between 64 and the Poplar Street Bridge. And 64 East is congested between Illinois 111 and 157. This traffic report is brought to you by the Quarry at Crystal Springs Golf Course. The Quarry at Crystal Springs delivers a convenient and affordable golf course that is a true test of any player's game. 4 sets of tees will allow players of all abilities to choose the course length that will best suit their enjoyment. Visit them today. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Julius Krasanik here, celebrating 54 years in this industry. My family owns Wholesale Siding Depot. That's WSDepot.com. Our seasoned customer service group has over 200 years of combined siding, window, and door experience. My grandson Elijah says,
"Are you kidding me?"
Tired of companies that like to apply pressure to sell you high-priced fiberglass or wood windows? We offer the Anderson Fibrex family of windows in styles and colors, including black, at wholesale prices. What are you waiting for? We sell truckloads of siding, windows, and doors from CertainTeed, Anderson, Viwinco, Provia, and other major brands, all at wholesale prices, while offering a free contractor referral service for your expert installation needs. Keep it local, family, and professional. Visit WSDepot.com. That's WSDepot.com.
At Midland, we know sometimes all it takes is a moment for an idea to spark, or to make it happen, a moment to find your dream, or build one, a moment to start your forever, or at least start planning for it. Whatever moments you have, Midland is here for them and can help you make them. Midland, brighter together. Visit us at midlandsb.com. Midland States Bank is member FDIC.
What if every day felt like the weekend? At Innsbruck Resort, it can. Enjoy lakes, trails, golf, live music, family fun, and delicious on-site dining, all just outside St. Louis. Whether you're looking for the perfect getaway, a vacation home, a full-time residence, or a place to build your dream retreat, discover a lifestyle designed around relaxation, recreation, and connection. Learn more at innsbruck-resort.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Well, we mentioned earlier that President Trump plans to go to the Spurs-Knicks game this evening. I can't even imagine what has to happen for him to be safe in a building like that. Don Mahalik, however, ABC News law enforcement contributor and retired senior Secret Service agent, knows all too well what it takes. Welcome back.
Thanks, Heidi. How are you?
I am fantastic. I mean, how many people and how many hours does it take to make sure a place like Madison Square Garden is safe for the president?
Well, so Madison Square Garden sits in the middle of Manhattan. Below it is Penn Station, perhaps one of the most busy train stations in the world. And then, of course, outside and around Madison Square Garden is Midtown Manhattan, which is also a pretty busy place. The Secret Service bringing protectees there, including the president, has happened before. The most notable was in 2004. They held the Republican National Convention there with President Bush, and they held Madison Square Garden for over a week and a half, and that included Penn Station. And the way they do that is the Secret Service New York field office has a longstanding relationship with the New York City Police Department, and working together as they do for other events like the UN General Assembly, other state visits, and other high-level events that occur in New York City. They put together a pretty robust security plan that incorporates the Secret Service 3 rings of protection, both above, below, and inside Madison Square Garden, and spreading out into the transit centers that feed into Madison Square Garden. Those often include scene measures like local police, canines, counter snipers, magnetometers. People going to this game are all going to go through magnetometers, and they're going to be discouraged to bring things like bags to the game because it'll be at the president's level of screening. And also, they will be unseen security measures that will be in place both above, below, and inside Madison Square Garden to make sure the president, everybody attending, and the game is safe and everybody has a good time.
Don, the Penn Station thing makes it, almost like a four-dimensional issue there. Presidents have gone to baseball games forever. In general terms, easier to protect a president at an outdoor baseball stadium or indoor arena like the Garden?
Well, indoors is always better because you take away a lot of the line of sight issues that you generally have when you're outdoors.
Yep.
Indoors is generally better, and it's more controlled also for the elements. And again, Madison Square Garden has been a place that the Secret Service has secured several times. So it's not as difficult as people would think. It does require a lot of hours and personnel and resources to do it. But, the general plan to do it is something that the Secret Service and the NYPD have done before.
Hey, Don, I don't want to get too deep in the weeds on this, but after that White House Press Association Correspondents' Dinner, they came out and they said, well, this is why we need a ballroom so that the president can be safe. It seems almost contradictory to say, well, but then we're going to go to the Knicks game in the playoffs.
I think the issue with the ballroom and the Knicks playoffs is if the president's in D.C., having an event space seems to make sense because then people could bring their events to the White House where it's a secure venue to do something. I think it would be hard to bring a Knicks playoff game, though, to the White House and do that inside of a room.
Wait a minute. They're bringing that fight this weekend.
I think an MMA tournament on the south grounds of the White House is a smaller event compared to the Knicks San Antonio, considering the Knicks record for the past couple of years. This is pretty amazing for all us Knicks fans watching this.
Yeah.
And then my only other question, is this too big of a hassle to do tonight? Is this necessary? It seems like a lot of fans are going to have to really be put out for this.
I think for the fans, the thing that's going to cost them is time, and maybe they're not going to be able to bring their favorite bag into the game, things like that. Overall, I think it'll make the event very safe. I think people will feel much safer there than I think we saw last night in Penn Station. And I think for the president, I always phrase it this way, what is the cost of not keeping the president safe if he goes someplace? And I think that cost would be considerably higher than doing whatever needs to be done to make sure that if he's going someplace, it's the safest it can be.
I think I'm just surprised that he's an NBA fan. Has he always been a Knicks fan?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize that.
President Trump is a sports fan.
Yeah.
And I think he sat courtside with Spike Lee back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Really? Okay, well, that's very cool. And I say go see this game, because when's the last time he saw them win a championship?
We were all babies.
Everybody kind of forgets is President Trump, regardless of anything, is the consummate New Yorker.
Yeah.
He likes all the New York teams, and he likes going to all the New York events. So it's not something that out of character for him.
Yeah, very interesting. And Don, thank you for walking us through what it takes to keep him safe in a place like that. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, guys. Take care.
Do you think that he's been at the White House watching the entire playoffs?
I'm not going to say that, but he's probably been keeping up with it.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I kind of like that. Anyway, coming up, we'll talk more sports with Brendan Weesey. We'll also talk to the editor of CollectSpace.com. The International Space Station is or was leaking air. So what do they do? And what's next for this 27-year-old space station? We'll talk to him about that coming up. So I hope you'll hang out with us for another hour here on the Big 550 KTRS St. Louis.
Choose Pella of St. Louis for window and door replacement to help enhance your home. For a limited time, get 20% off Pella projects. Call 833-87-PELLA or visit Pella.com/radio. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
This is the Big 550 KTRS St. Louis, Wildwood, De Pere, Columbia, and the world. Streaming live at KTRS.com.
There's NBA Finals excitement and an Ohio mass shooting update. But first, Kroger, the supermarket chain, is agreeing to pay $1.25 million in a settlement over calories.
Remember that Seinfeld episode when the non-fat frozen yogurt turned out not to be non-fat?
It's non-fat. How could this not have any fat? It's too good.
In Santa Barbara County, the district attorney says some Kroger-branded Carb Master breads were not as low-calorie as advertised. Kroger accused of putting inaccurate calorie counts on some of its Carb Master white wheat and multi-seed bread and hot dog and hamburger buns. The DA alleging Kroger was violating California's false advertising laws. In one case, the DA says Kroger advertised its Carb Master hamburger buns as having 50 calories in them when they actually had 100 calories in them. Alex Stone, ABC News.
Security's beefed up for tonight's NBA Finals game in New York.
Agent Matt McCool with the U.S. Secret Service says because President Trump will be there, Game 3 will be different.
You will see Secret Service, police, and special agents, transportation security officers, federal air marshals, and the NYPD officers throughout the area.
What you won't see is those fans packing the streets outside the Garden. That party's been moved to Bryant Park. Security at all locations throughout the city will be extremely tight. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
The Knicks lead the series 2-0 for the San Antonio Spurs. An 18-year-old is in custody for questioning, police say, in the mass shooting over the weekend at the annual Old West End Festival in Toledo, Ohio. 12 people were injured. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine.
We have every confidence in the police department. We have every confidence that they will find and be able to arrest the individuals who participated in this.
A referee for the FIFA World Cup has been denied entry to the U.S. due to vetting concerns, as U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Local reports say he is from Somalia. You're listening to ABC News.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
At 5:03, I'm David Solomon, and here's what's happening. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker is putting a pause on all new state tax incentives for data centers. KTRS's Jill Enders has the story.
Governor Pritzker is directing the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity to pause processing agreements for the data center investment program beginning July 1st. The governor also outlined a framework for Illinois to address the growing impact of data centers on energy affordability and reliability, water resources, and local community impact. This action comes after lawmakers failed to pass the Power Act this spring. The measure would have established comprehensive environmental, water, and energy regulations for hyperscale data centers. Jill Enders, KTRS News.
It's business as usual for several Shrewsbury businesses that were forced to close early Sunday after a 6/7 event at an indoor trampoline park erupted into chaos. Shrewsbury police were called to Sky Zone in the 7300 block of Watson Road around 3:45 yesterday afternoon for a disturbance involving a large crowd of juveniles. Officers arrived to find a crowd of more than 300 juveniles outside the establishment. Authorities say at least 8 fights broke out, and several of the youths migrated to nearby stores and businesses where they caused damage and threatened employees and customers. The juveniles remaining on the scene were yelling at officers, making threats, and throwing rocks. Police took several juveniles into custody, where they were eventually released to their parents or guardians. Sky Zone released a statement saying that the juveniles involved in the incident never gained entry into the trampoline park, as the facility prohibits unaccompanied minors under the age of 18. The mayor of Festus and 3 city councilmen have filed a lawsuit in an attempt to stop a recall election. The lawsuit alleges that the certified recall petitions against Mayor Sam Richards and Councilman Mike Cook, David Boyer, and Kevin Dennis are insufficient because they do not list specific acts of misconduct, incompetence, or a failure to perform their duties. The recall effort is part of the backlash against members of the Festus government who voted in favor of a data center project that was opposed by many residents. Organizers maintain the process was done properly and legally. And Missouri's Healthy SNAP initiative is being delayed. The initiative will now launch on February 15th of 2027. The Missouri Department of Social Services says postponing the launch will give the state more time to work with local grocers, community stakeholders, and agricultural partners. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. St. Louis is among the Midwest's best metropolitan areas for graduates starting a career. That's according to a new study by Commercial Cafe, which ranked the gateway city in 10th place. The study shows that St. Louis has the second highest number of education institutions in the Midwest, a low unemployment rate, and strong mobility scores across walking, cycling, and transit. The study also noted the metropolitan area's institutional depth and stable urban core as key strengths for graduates beginning their careers. Now let's take a look at the closing markets, brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. The Dow closed down 80 points at 50,786. The Nasdaq up 220 points to 25,929, and the S&P 500 was up 22 points, closing at 7,405. KTRS News Time is 5:07. Let's head over to the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk with the latest sports news from Paul Kopsky.
David, the 25-year wait is over. The SLU and Mizzou men's basketball teams will be meeting on the hardwood at Enterprise Center on Friday, November 6th. This will be the first matchup in a 3-game series. You can hear more about it tonight on the Big Sports Show with Brendan Weesey from 7 to 9 on the home for the Tigers, the Big 550 KTRS. And the Cardinals are off today after completing a sweep of the Reds over the weekend at Busch. The Birds begin a series with the Mets in New York tomorrow. I'm Paul Kopsky from the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk, and now on to traffic. There's a crash on 64 East before Vandeventer with stop-and-go traffic back to Tower Grove. 64 West is crowded from Kings Highway to McCausland. 44 East is slow between North Broadway and 5564. 6455 East is busy between Illinois Route 3 and 64. There's road work with lane closures on 6455 West between 64 and the Poplar Street Bridge, and 64 East is congested between Illinois 111 and 157. This traffic report is brought to you by Stages St. Louis. Get your season tickets now for the 2026 Stages St. Louis. The 2026 season is kicked off with the always hilarious 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. Then take a trip back to the 40s and 50s with Guys and Dolls. Stages will wrap up this year with the incredible true story of Come From Away. Call 314-821-2407 or visit stagesstlouis.org. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Thank you very much, Paul. Taking a look now at the KTRS First Alert forecast for the rest of the night tonight, you can expect to see an isolated shower or thunderstorm. Otherwise, mostly cloudy with a low around 72. Tomorrow is a First Alert weather day as a heat advisory is in effect for the majority of the KTRS listening area from noon until 10 p.m. as heat indices could reach 108 as we will have mostly sunny skies otherwise and a high near 93. And tomorrow night, mostly clear with a low around 74. It is 87 degrees with a heat index of 93 at 5:09. I'm David Solomon, KTRS News on the Talk of St. Louis.
Hi, everybody. McGraw-Millhaven here for family-owned and family-operated Lisi Lumber since 1872. Lisi Lumber is now producing and delivering custom kits for pre-assembled trestles, pavilions, and pergolas made to your specifications. Union-made, union-delivered, homeowners and do-it-yourselfers, you're going to love this. Got an idea? Send them a sketch and some dimensions, and they'll do the rest. For the best woods and pre-assembled hardscapes, call Lisi Lumber at 618-234-0105 or LisiLumber.com.
I'm Mark Cantor. Here's why you can count on Cantor Injury Law.
My name is Michelle. I'm a litigation paralegal at Cantor Injury Law, and you can count on Cantor because we are smart, honest, and hardworking.
I'm Kevin Glenn, and a partner here at Cantor Injury Law. You can count on Cantor because we make your cause our cause.
No fee if no recovery. Please visit CantorInjuryLaw.com or call us at 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
I'm Farmer Dave, and here's my good friend and owner of MasterCars Inc., Alex Rosenberger, with today's hot MasterCars Inc. deals.
Thanks, Farmer Dave. We are very busy buying, selling, and trading some very impressive luxury and performance vehicles. I have bought a lot of great cars and motorcycles from Big 550 listeners this month and need more. If you have a super clean performance or luxury vehicle, what about a very low-mile everyday car? Classic car? Pristine, hard-to-find motorcycle? Entire collection? I'm interested in buying if so. Hop on our site and submit your vehicle, MasterCarsInc.com. We'll reach out right away. It's okay if you still owe money. We'll make the payoff on your behalf and cut a check for your equity. Very simple, all local, all face-to-face. We buy, sell, and trade every day.
So rev that motor and point your car in the direction of MasterCars Inc. and buy or sell today. 4100 Namioki Road in Granite City or visit MasterCarsInc.com to get more details. That's MasterCarsInc.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
An air leak aboard the International Space Station prompted 5 astronauts to take shelter Friday. What does this mean for the space station? Robert Perlman is the editor of CollectSpace.com and joins us to discuss. Thanks for making time for us.
Oh, happy to join you.
So, to be clear, the astronauts were able to return to the station.
They never left the space station. They just took shelter inside one of the spacecraft that was attached to it.
Got it. And is this just par for the course with something that is 27 years old? Is this just an aging space station?
It's an aging space station. We've never had a space station this old and continually staffed by crews coming and going. But it's been a known problem that they've been leaking air from the Russian segment for the last couple of years. And they've at times been able to halt the leak. More recently, it's become a little bit bigger than they had before.
And Robert, with the vacuum of space, is there wear and tear? I mean, there's no water erosion, there's no
metal fatigue
and wind and this stuff. Do things age in space?
That's part of the reason we have the International Space Station, to learn more about how to operate spacecraft for long times, to learn what does affect and impart damage to equipment like this. But there is damage. There's small and large pieces of debris in Earth orbit that could hit the space station. Micrometeorite impacts are not uncommon. And there is metal fatigue. There's metal rubbing up against other metal as they conduct dockings and undockings and have the whole structure stress between being in the sun and then being in the shadow of Earth.
That makes sense.
So here's the real question: duct tape or Flex Seal?
You'd be surprised, but they do use both.
Okay.
They've used both temporary and permanent sealants to try to halt these leaks. Part of the trouble is trying to find them. The space station walls are lined by equipment, science equipment, and the equipment needed to run the space station itself. And so getting behind them is difficult at times. In fact, this time when the crew took shelter inside the Dragon spacecraft, it was not because of the leak. It was because the fix that they were going to try to do required cutting a clamp off of the wall, which would have potentially been could have introduced additional risk itself. And ultimately, the Russians decided to postpone that activity, which is why everyone came back inside.
We're talking to Robert Perlman, who's the editor of CollectSpace.com, and we're talking about the International Space Station. And you mentioned that all of this scientific equipment is in front of the leak. How do they know in the first place that there is a leak? They're not feeling it. Do alarms go off?
Well, we're not at the point where there are alarms or that they're feeling it. There's no ill effects. In fact, the pressurization of the space station itself overpowers the amount of so it's still pressure positive. They're not losing it to the point where their ears are popping or anything like that. But they do have equipment on board the space station to monitor each of the modules for this very reason, to make sure that they can pressurize the space station properly. And that equipment picked up that there was an air leak somewhere inside that module.
So we talked about this kind of being an aging space station. Is there a new one being built? What's next when this one is kind of out of date?
So NASA has turned to its commercial partners and has said that it's time for commercial industry to take over low Earth orbit and allow NASA to do what it does best, which is push out beyond Earth and go to the moon and Mars and elsewhere, explore. And so there are more than a couple of companies right now, U.S. companies, developing commercial space stations, hoping to become the replacement for the International Space Station. They vary in designs from having inflatable modules to having a single module as a start that can launch very simply and then have additional rooms added onto it over time. And all of them are hoping to have something ready to deploy between the time that the space station ends and the next couple of years.
So, so many questions. Whenever it comes to space, I could talk to you for 30 minutes. But something that just popped up on one of these new modules: is there any way to get gravity up in space, or are we floating forever?
You can create artificial gravity. It has not been demonstrated in large scale yet, but you can, by spinning the space station, create a centrifugal force that will, it's the old 2001 A Space Odyssey type space station, the large wheel rotating. Well, you see that in sci-fi movies because that's exactly how it's done.
Wow.
You would spin up a very large space station to the point that you have basically the same 1G force. But that sort of defeats some of the purpose of these space stations. The science that's being done there is to learn how to operate in microgravity and what advantages that microgravity might have. For example, they're right now working on 3D printing organs, human organs, on board the space station as potential future transplant solutions. And you can't do that in the 1G environment here on Earth. The gravity itself just collapses those prints, but you can do it in microgravity. And there are other advantages to growing crystals for superconductors that work just a much better in a low gravity environment than here on Earth.
So what is a day in the space station like? Are they working 8-hour days? Are they working 15-hour days?
They work very much like we do. They wake up in the morning. They get they have a breakfast hour. They have time to do their personal hygiene. Then they go to work for several hours, have a lunch break, sometimes alone, sometimes as crew members together, and then work for another several hours, meet together for dinner, and then call the night. And they have their own personal crew quarters, where they can seek some privacy, or they can meet together at communal areas around. They actually have a dinner table that at least once a week they all get together and enjoy a meal together.
So, I mean, this is a pretty decent sized space. We're not talking about a shuttle.
No, you're talking about basically the livable volume of a 4 to 5 bedroom house.
Huh.
Oh, wow.
So I saw you, and this is how I found your name. There was maybe it was the Smithsonian was having a panel discussing the International Space Station and what to do with it when it was done. And you were part of the panel of this is an anthropological site. This is the first human settlement in space. The only way to get this thing down is to crash to Earth. How do you salvage any of this? How does this come back home? And is there any way to preserve some of this for future museums?
Well, we unfortunately can't bring home the entire space station, nor is it safe to try to move the space station to a higher orbit or park it around the moon, as some have proposed, create it as its own floating museum. We don't have the ability to do that safely. So it does have to be deorbited eventually, brought back to Earth, and then allowed to be destroyed in the atmosphere and drop pieces into the Pacific Ocean. The way we save this is through multiple means. You try to bring home what you can. There are spacecraft right now that visit the space station that then have the ability to come back to Earth intact, obviously because they bring the astronauts back home, but they also have cargo vehicles made by SpaceX that land on Earth, will splash down and bring back science results. So you could possibly pack some of the equipment, some of the artifacts, what are now going to become artifacts, on board those spacecraft and bring them home. You also have the ability to look at it from a perspective of there's a lot of data that has been produced from the space station over the past 25 years, and that itself becomes part of its legacy. The millions upon millions of photographs that were taken up by its crew members are part of its legacy, and those are already on Earth. My part in that panel was to represent collectors worldwide, and I recommended that they try to find something large enough that could be cut into a lot of little tiny pieces and then offered to the public for anyone who wanted to have a remembrance of the space station, because it really was their space station. There are 25-year-olds walking around right now who have not known a day of their life when there hasn't been someone living on board the International Space Station, and that means a lot.
And will the future space station, we see pictures of this. It looks like, there's computers everywhere and equipment everywhere. Would a future space station be more streamlined and maybe more comfortable, per se?
Some of the stations that are being designed for more of the luxury feel, the clean look. When you're doing pure science work, you don't really want to have stuff all your cables behind the wall, because you're going to need to access those cables frequently. And so it's better to have them floating out where you can reach them and easily change them out. The International Space Station has its own lived-in look, as for example, compared to the Chinese space station, which just went up relatively recently, and has a much cleaner look right now. But yeah, there are one of the companies that's developing, called Vast, has what looks like wood paneling on their walls, and and to give the sense of more of a sense of home while
That's
you're up
the
there.
opposite look I'm going for.
It's coming back.
Get one of the HGTV couples up there to get that done.
One of these days.
Shiplap. We need shiplap.
Right. Well, Robert, this has been so interesting. Thank you so much for joining us and kind of walking us through the idea of the space station and what's next.
My pleasure.
Wow. I'll tell you this. I mean, that is really out of this world. But the moment that I stepped into the Muni, I thought that was out of this world. Some of the biggest stars on Broadway have played the Muni. And what is amazing is we're about to kick off this next season, and it is going to be a fantastic one. June 15th, the season starts with Hairspray. And if you've never seen the movie, if you've never seen the musical, this is one that it just continues to, I think, keep people in awe. It's Tracy Turnblad. She's back at the Muni and ready to move to the beat of kind of a changing world. It is set in 1962. It's so much fun. The music is so much fun. You'll be on your feet. But now all 2026 Muni tickets are on sale. You can get the tickets for all 7 musicals, or you can buy individual show tickets if you want. And don't forget that at the end of season 108, how about that? That's how long we've been doing this. And that includes Hairspray, Shrek the Musical, South Pacific, Newsies, Ain't Too Proud, which is the life and times of the Temptations. I can't wait to see that. Meet Me in St. Louis, and Something Rotten, which is another fantastic musical. They're all so great, and they've got fantastic actors, singers, musicians, all coming in for this. And then, like I was about to say, Lionel Richie is also going to be at the Muni this year.
Hello.
So, yeah, that's exactly right, but
Who
a
is it?
little bit better.
Is it me you're looking for?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It is. Muni.org is where you can purchase those tickets, whether it's for the entire season or just one show, whatever is your favorite or maybe your next favorite. You can also swing by the box office and learn more and buy those tickets. But it is about to kick off Monday night. I will be there on Tuesday. I'll tell you all about Hairspray on Wednesday. Again, it's muni.org.
Summer has a way of bringing people together. Backyard barbecues, open patios, sunlight filling your favorite rooms. It's the season when your home takes center stage, and if your windows or doors are showing their age, there's never been a better time to refresh the spaces you enjoy most. Imagine more natural light in your favorite rooms, a patio door that glides effortlessly, and a home that's ready for everything summer brings. That's the difference beautifully crafted replacement windows and doors can make, adding comfort, style, and lasting value to the place you love most. Right now, buy one window or door and get one window or door 40% off. Call now to see how affordable summer comfort and style can be with flexible financing options available. From the moment you schedule your appointment, you'll experience the attention to detail and world-class service that's helped make Renewal by Andersen one of the most trusted names in home improvement. Schedule your free window and door diagnosis by June 30th. Call 877-WINDOWS or visit renewalbyanderson.com today. Renewal by Anderson. Superior products, exceptional service.
Okay, you've decided you want to get away, you want to travel, you want to see the world. Let Altair Travel and Cruises handle all the details. You handle all the fun. You don't know where to stay. You don't have to worry about transfers. What about your luggage? What about a tour guide? You don't want a tour guide. Lewis and Clark had a tour guide. You're in a different country. You want to go see the Sistine Chapel. You're going to need a tour guide. Let Altair Travel handle all those details. You handle all the fun. 314-968-9600. Altair Travel or altairtravel.com.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
Your dentures no longer fit? Maybe you're missing a tooth or several teeth. Visit Dr. Bowen for Simply Secure Dentures and Dental Implants. The cutting-edge, high-quality dental implants that replace all the teeth in your mouth, and it starts as low as $7,000, not the $35,000 that others charge. If you're only missing a few teeth, Dr. Bowen can permanently replace those with something you don't have to take in and out of your mouth. Learn more at simplysecuredentures.com and get the care you need and the teeth you want at Bowen Dental Care or simplysecuredentures.com.
Jill Farmer here with Dan Head, the owner of Patriot Build Sunrooms and Luna Builds. Both companies really offer a lot for customers, don't they?
Combining the capabilities of Patriot and Luna allows us to create any outdoor space you imagine. Essentially, if you can dream it, we can build it. From the highest level custom finishes to more user-friendly projects, our amazing craftsmen will make it a reality and add value to your home.
Call 314-822-3232 for a free consultation or come visit their Kirkwood showroom online at patriotbuildsstl.com.
Before you put your home on the market, before you have to pay money fixing it up to sell it, before you have to pay real estate commissions, call me. I'm Mike Robinson with Robank Properties, and I will buy your home. Any property, any condition, anywhere, and always as is. Call me, Mike Robinson with Robank Properties at 314-283-0867. That's 314-283-0867. You have nothing to lose when you call Robank Properties at 314-283-0867.
All eyes will be on Mizzou men's basketball this year, with one of the nation's top recruiting classes coming to the Zoo. You don't want to be watching from the couch while Mizzou Arena is rocking, so grab your black and gold and experience it. Go to MUTigers.com/MBBTIX to get your name on the season ticket request list for next season. Don't wait. Visit MUTigers.com/MBBTIX today. MIZ.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
It is 5:31. Captain Paul, how's traffic?
Heidi, no accidents, just a little slow traffic. 64 West is crowded from Kings Highway to Clayton Skinker. 44 West heavy between the King Bridge and 55-64. 64-55 East is slow between Illinois Route 3 and 64. And on the east side, there's road work with lane closures on 64-55 West between 64 and the Poplar Street Bridge. And 64 East is congested between Illinois 111 and 157. This traffic report is brought to you by Dents Express. Drive time can be hectic with traffic, weather, and fender benders. Dents Express can help with hassle-free dent removal, minor collision repair, and hail damage repair. Free evaluations, and they take care of the insurance paperwork. They've got 2 locations on Manchester and Baldwin and in St. Charles. Dents Express, STL.com. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
KTRS Sports Director Brendan Weezy is back to talk sports, and there's big news today when it comes to basketball.
Absolutely. Heidi, welcome back.
Thank you.
We knew that we were just waiting for the confirmation on this Mizzou SLU game. Obviously, our own Frank Cusimano had this report more than a month ago that this was going to go down, but I think factor in that Mizzou Nebraska was added to the schedule last week without any real hype around that. We're like, okay, well, what about Mizzou and SLU? We get the announcement today, 3-game series. It begins that first week of this year, that first November week. It'll be a Friday night at Enterprise Center.
That's going to be crazy.
It's a fabulous way to start the season. It won't be the official opener. I think both Mizzou and SLU will have a game earlier that week to officially start things, but that opening week, I think it's a big win for basketball fans, is what I've been saying. I don't know if it's a huge win for SLU or Mizzou fans in particular, but just if you're a fan of basketball in the region, you've wanted this series to come back, and here it is.
Well, speaking of take me back, when was the last time there was a series between the two?
So we have to go back to 2001. I was telling Rammer earlier, I certainly don't have a memory. I think they've played 40 times previously, and obviously that goes way, way back. But they played a 3-game series back then, culminating in one in 2001. I think all the games were pretty good.
They were great games, all within 4 points.
Yeah, all remember the Wesley Stokes buzzer beater
in the rubber
one
game.
of those games.
In the third game.
Okay, was the third.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that stands out the most to me. But I think at the time that was also, hey, SLU was hot, and I think they started that series that it was the year after. I'm trying to again do the math, Rammer. I think it was the year after. Larry Hughes, right? I don't think Larry played.
No, it was 2 years after that.
2 years after Larry.
Because the year after Larry was Charlie's final year, and Norm, and it was then Quinn and Romar coaching that 3-game series.
Quinn, I kind of forgot that.
He just re-signed with the Hawks.
Yeah,
so he is having a very successful.
Does he still have the same hair?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's got the hair.
It's great.
Brendan, who do we have to thank for this? Is this the coaches coming together? Is this the ADs? Is it a want from the fans that they finally said, okay, we're going to do it?
So Josh Schertz has mentioned from Jump Street here, and I think he made it official to reporters today. We're going to have Dennis Gates on the show on Wednesday to get his side of things. But by all accounts, it was Dennis Gates that started the conversation, started the dialogue to get this game back on the books.
I love
and
it.
I think
Tons of
it's really, really cool to see that. And I also think Dennis Gates deserves a ton of credit here just for the overall body of work that he's putting together for this non-conference schedule, because he has taken some criticism, I think rightfully so, for the soft nature of Mizzou's non-conference schedule basically since he's arrived. And maybe he feels compelled, and I think this is part of it. He's got this tremendous freshman class. He's got Jason Crow Jr., who might be at Mizzou only 1 year. Hey, put these guys out in some marquee matchups that people want to go and watch. And I think it's been college basketball's problem before, that they don't show up on the radar until the season's almost over, until you get to March Madness. You want to have these events that get eyeballs on your sport early on. This is going to do that in a big way, especially here regionally. I think it should be a pretty big national game as well, because I think both programs will be in the top 25. But you get people excited about your product a lot sooner. And I don't think for Mizzou or SLU that we've had these many opportunities to really dig in on the program in November, and we'll get to do that for both these teams
Well,
this
speaking
year.
of excitement, I have been gone for 2 weeks, but I have been following the Cardinals. Are you guys any more excited now that they continue this role?
They're fun.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a new twist or turn every single day. There's intrigue, and this for me now, for some fans, it's cut and dry, and I get that. You're either contending or you're not. You're trying to make the playoffs or you're not. But there's some nuance here. Like from the Cardinals' perspective, it is, how do you continue to try and put the best possible team on the field while also keeping your big picture view of not just this year, but next year and the following seasons, to where it's also about what about our team in 3 or 4 years when we think we could be like World Series contending good. And to reach that level, you might have to sacrifice certain aspects of this team to make Rammer's new target year. I'm sure he's told you about it.
I heard it.
2028.
Was it Friday you guys were talking about it? Yeah.
I think it was.
He made the big reveal. 2028 is
contention year.
Is contention year.
And that moves up by 2 or 3 years. 2. Okay.
So to get there, you might have to.
I'm impressed.
But you might have to sacrifice certain aspects this year. So that's where a guy like Dustin May, I'm going to have Rick Horton on the show tonight, a Cardinal broadcaster on the radio side, former Cardinal pitcher, and just to get his thoughts on a guy like a Dustin May, because he's been fantastic. And he was that guy you brought in, big free agent acquisition during the offseason. And we've had a lot of discussions. Like maybe best case scenario is like where Dustin May is at right now, where he has a tremendous first half, and then maybe you parlay him into a younger couple of prospects at the deadline. But now he might be your number one pitcher.
He's only 28. That's the thing that makes it not an easy.
I know.
If he was 31, you'd say, "Oh, we're going to trade him."
Totally.
But at 28. In 2 years, or even 3 or 4, he's still in his prime, theoretically. So it'll be real interesting to see how the Cardinal brass plays it.
It's not cut and dry at all, and it's going to be Chaim Bloom is definitely going to earn his money here. And I don't believe, although I think there's Ken Rosenthal today, I think is the latest to come on the board saying that what will the Cardinals do? Will they make a move? And
the answer's no.
I 100% agree. They're not going to make a move to go out and get a piece from the outside, but that doesn't mean they can't massage this roster.
That's the key. You're
to
right.
Get the most out of it, and
do you think the
ahead.
Cardinals are shocked? I'm talking about management now, and the brass. Are they shocked at how well this team is playing?
I think they've got to be at least mildly surprised at the fact that I think they've been so resilient, because they play like a veteran-led team at times.
And there's no way you could predict Jordan Walker's career turnaround. He could even be playing okay, and you'd be happy with it. But he's an all-star.
Absolute all-star and dark horse MVP candidate, although I think they're going to need to come up with a separate MVP non-Otani wing of the award.
So
Who's
true.
the next best MVP? Because Shohei at this rate is going to win it every year if he's healthy and he's pitching and hitting the way he is. But nobody saw Walker. He's gone from, is this guy even worthy of being on your big league roster?
Right.
To being an all-star.
And your best player, no question.
And this is the guy that when they drafted Walker, and we heard he's a top 10 prospect, which he was, and dominated his brief stay at the minor league level. This is the guy we thought the Cardinals might have. This is the exact prototype. I don't think he is any worse for wear.
He's just living up to the expectations now.
And he's also turned himself into a pretty doggone good defensive player, too. He's got a great arm in the outfield. And remember, he came up as a third baseman. So at the end of the day, I still think John Mozeliak deserves plenty of blame for how his progress stunted. But at the end of the day, Mo did... he was here when they drafted him. And right now... Walker looks like a huge success story for the Cardinals organization. And, hey, the current staff can take a lot of that ownership, too, because they've gotten to this point in his head where he feels like, confidence-wise, he can do this each and every time.
What's coming up tonight?
We'll talk more about the Mizzou SLU game, obviously. Rick Horton with me. Rammer's going to drop by. Eli Hoff. A lot of discussions about this announcement today, and again, this news out of the NCAA about Brendan Sorsby as well. Which
we touched on that
totally
for a bit.
Crazy.
It is crazy. Brendan will be listening. Thanks so
Heidi.
much.
This is Mariah, third generation at Newsteaders Fine Jewelry. Buying an engagement ring can be intimidating. At Newsteaders, we ensure complete understanding of your purchase. We offer a choice in both lab and mine-grown diamonds and are able to work with any budget. Let our family help educate you on your choice at Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or at wowdiamonds.com.
Jill Farmer here with Jeff Zufall, Senior Tax Strategist and Wealth Advisor at Capital Advisory Group and author of the #1 best-selling books on taxes, Keep What's Yours and Keeping What's Yours. Jeff, with the talk of rising interest rates, now's the time for a tax strategy.
Thanks, Jill. Since 1976, thousands of businesses have relied upon the tax reduction strategies provided by Capital Advisory Group to help them manage the effects of inflation and rising interest rates to keep more of what they earn. We're celebrating 50 years helping small businesses grow and thrive by minimizing the financial risk to their businesses, reducing their tax liability, and growing their wealth using strategic tax planning. The Fed is hinting that inflation and interest rates will continue to rise in the months ahead. If you're relying upon investment advice from someone who isn't familiar with your tax strategy and you feel like you might be paying more than your fair share in taxes, we can help.
Give Capital Advisory Group a call at 636-394-5524, 636-394-5524, online at capitaladvisorygrp.com.
I'm Farmer Dave, and here's my good friend and owner of MasterCars Inc., Alex Rosenberger, with today's hot MasterCars Inc. deals.
Thanks, Farmer Dave. We are very busy buying, selling, and trading some very impressive luxury and performance vehicles. I have bought a lot of great cars and motorcycles from Big 550 listeners this month and need more. If you have a super clean performance or luxury vehicle, what about a very low-mile everyday car? Classic car? Pristine, hard-to-find motorcycle? Entire collection? I'm interested in buying if so. Hop on our site and submit your vehicle, MasterCarsInc.com. We'll reach out right away. It's okay if you still owe money. We'll make the payoff on your behalf and cut a check for your equity. Very simple, all local, all face-to-face. We buy, sell, and trade every day.
So rev that motor and point your car in the direction of MasterCars Inc. and buy or sell today. 4100 Namioki Road in Granite City or visit MasterCarsInc.com to get more details. That's MasterCarsInc.com.
Repairing chimneys, walkways, porches, foundations, entire homes, anything to do with brick or stone, you need a tuck pointer you can trust, and that, of course, is Morelli. Morelli is a family-run business started in 1991, and they're only as good as their last customer. That's why when you check out the reviews online at MorelliTuckPointing.com, you'll notice that they're actual customers who are singing the praises of Morelli. So if you need a tuck pointer, you need Morelli. 314-645-1387 or MorelliTuckPointing.com.
Jill Farmer for my friends at Patriot Build Sunrooms and Luna Builds. Combining the capabilities of these two excellent companies allows them to create any outdoor space you imagine. It's going to add value to your home, and you're going to love it. This makes them unique in St. Louis. Essentially, if you can dream it, they can build it. From the highest level custom finishes to more user-friendly projects, their craftsmen will make it a reality. Give Patriot a call for a free design consultation, 314-822-3232, or visit their Kirkwood showroom online, patriotbuildsstl.com.
I trust Pella Windows and Doors of St. Louis to help improve my home when it matters most. It's not just Pella's high-quality windows and doors. It's the local experts who know the St. Louis area so well. For a limited time, get 20% off Pella projects or 0% no payments, no interest if paid in full within 24 months. Call 833-87-PELLA or visit Pella.com/radio to learn more. 833-87-PELLA or Pella.com/radio. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Are you looking for a deck? I am. And you know who I turn to? Outdoor Living and Pat Leahy. They've been a sponsor for a long time, and they've done some other projects for me, but this one's the big one. It's going to have metal framing, composite decking, and when it's all said and done, he's going to put a 50-year warranty on it. Not because I'm his spokesperson for all these years, but because I am a customer. Outdoor Living takes care of St. Louis, so if you're looking for a deck that will survive the heat and the winter and the sun and everything else, Outdoor Living, Big Bend and I-44 in Kirkwood. Outdoor Living, or OutdoorLivingInc.com.
When you want to send flowers to a loved one for a birthday, anniversary, or that special occasion, call your friends at Walter Knoll Florist. Walter Knoll is family-owned and operated and offers custom designs by expert designers. A huge inventory and selection that only the largest florist can offer, with quality and care that no grocery store florist can meet. They have several locations in the St. Louis metro area to serve you. Order online today at WKF.com. That's WKF.com. Walter Knoll Florist, your personal florist since 1883.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550. KTRS.
Well, let's do a little entertainment news. The world seems to have accepted the rumor that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are getting married in New York City. And if Page Six is to be believed, they're going about as big as you can in New York, Madison Square Garden. Now, I'm leery of this, but it's according to multiple sources, one of whom said, quote, everyone's been sworn to secrecy. But then someone went to Page Six anyway.
Why would they ever get married there?
That's what I don't. It doesn't make sense to me. But the alleged wedding date, Friday, July 3rd. A source says the potential plan is for guests to be transported to MSG on blacked out buses. Now, this is the only thing that maybe makes sense to me. They say the arena was chosen for its multiple entrances and, quote, highly secure infrastructure.
Are they going to get married on half court?
I don't know.
Is Trump going to be there?
I'm doubting that, but at least we know it will be secure.
I don't believe this for a second. Red herring.
Yeah, you think?
False flag.
Okay. By the way, Taylor's song for Toy Story 5 is now the most streamed country song in a single day by a female artist in Spotify history.
Wow. Even more than Choosing Texas?
Apparently, and on Apple Music, it's the biggest country single of 2026 so far. So, yes, beating out both of those. One more story for you. A guy who goes by Dr. Spaghetti examined a bunch of videos of Guy Fieri doing his show and points out he never actually swallows the food he's supposed to be eating. He uses camera cuts so he can spit it out. Now, sometimes he says Guy will eat something and then talk, and in those cases, he looks like he's packing the food into his cheeks like a squirrel, presumably so he can then spit it out off camera. And then there are times when he just flat out fakes it. He slowed down video in one scene where he allegedly takes a bite of food from chopsticks, but if you look really closely, there's no food there. So I thought that was very interesting.
Guy Fieri weighed in?
He is not. So we'll see what he has to say. I know he stopped by several places here in St. Louis, and it's always a nice kind of jolt to different businesses when he kind of gives their stamp of approval.
In a way, you can kind of understand it. He's tasting and he tells you what he tastes and the flavors.
Yeah.
But if you're doing back-to-back shows, it might not,
Well, you have a heart attack, especially on some of these things. And I will say, after doing so many stories on restaurants, you take a bite, but you don't eat the entire plate. So maybe this is somebody just being picky. If you're looking for TV tonight, you've got the NBA game, you've got the 18th season premiere of American Ninja Warrior, and Watch What Happened Live has, Josh, your favorite, Jennifer Lopez, with her Office Romance co-star, Betty Gilpin, as a guest. Couple birthdays?
Yes. How many you want, Josh? One?
Two. Really quickly.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to try and make this as fair as possible. Not a country star, so I'll move on to Maria Menounos.
Oh, Maria.
Access Hollywood today. Dancing with the Stars.
I'm going to say she's
46.
50.
Right in the middle, 48. That's a tie. And then this is a tough one, just because the years pile up. These boots are made for walking. Nancy Sinatra.
Oh, Nancy Sinatra.
66.
Oh, Josh.
75.
Oh.
That hit was in 66.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, 76.
Nancy Sinatra.
82.
86 years old.
Oh, my
Dang it.
God. How about that?
That is your evening entertainment report here on the Big 550 KTRS.
Julius Krasanik here, celebrating 54 years in this industry. My family owns Wholesale Siding Depot. That's WSDepot.com. Our seasoned customer service group has over 200 years of combined siding, window, and door experience. My grandson Elijah says,
"Are you kidding me?"
Tired of companies that like to apply pressure to sell you high-priced fiberglass or wood windows? We offer the Anderson Fibrex family of windows in styles and colors, including black, at wholesale prices. What are you waiting for? We sell truckloads of siding, windows, and doors from CertainTeed, Anderson, Viwinco, Provia, and other major brands, all at wholesale prices, while offering a free contractor referral service for your expert installation needs. Keep it local, family, and professional. Visit WSDepot.com. That's WSDepot.com.
Your dentures no longer fit? Maybe you're missing a tooth or several teeth. Visit Dr. Bowen for Simply Secure Dentures and Dental Implants. The cutting-edge, high-quality dental implants that replace all the teeth in your mouth, and it starts as low as $7,000, not the $35,000 that others charge. If you're only missing a few teeth, Dr. Bowen can permanently replace those with something you don't have to take in and out of your mouth. Learn more at simplysecuredentures.com and get the care you need and the teeth you want at Bowen Dental Care or simplysecuredentures.com.
Hi, I'm Mike Robinson with Robank Properties, and I want your fixer-upper home. It's crazy to spend a ton of money fixing it up when I will pay you top dollar right now. I don't even care what condition it's in. Your trash is my treasure. No inspections, no contingencies, just cold, hard cash. Call me, Mike Robinson, at 314-283-0867. That's Mike Robinson, 314-283-0867, or at robangproperties.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
7 minutes before 6, let's get one final check of traffic with Captain Paul.
Heidi, there's an accident on 44 East at Lewis with a slowdown back to Williams. 64 West is slow in front of Forest Park. And on the east side, 64 East is congested between 111 and 157. And there's road work with lane closures on 6455 West between 64 and the Poplar Street Bridge. This traffic report is brought to you by the Quarry at Crystal Springs Golf Course. The Quarry at Crystal Springs delivers a convenient and affordable golf course that is a true test of any player's game. 4 sets of tees will allow players of all abilities to choose the course length that will best suit their enjoyment. Visit them today. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Well, I was telling these guys, I came back to St. Louis after being out in the Pacific Northwest, and the humidity hit me like a ton of bricks. And that's why when it comes to your HVAC system, you need somebody who lives here, who knows St. Louis weather. And I will tell you this, Indoor Comfort Team Heating and Air Conditioning, they can't change the weather, but they can make sure that your system is working properly. HVAC systems are complex, and staying on top of things, it is so important. And that's why you need the folks over at Indoor Comfort Team Heating and Air Conditioning. It's a company that's been around since 1979. So it's not just a business. The techs have been hired. These guys have been around for a while. They know what they're dealing with. And you actually get a person on the other end of the phone, which I think is fantastic. These are your neighbors. They know St. Louis. They know the weather. Not everything is going to go perfectly, but they will always finish it perfectly. And Adam, the owner, knows his clients and even shares his cell phone number. You can reach Indoor Comfort Team at 314-894-8200. That's 314-894-8200, or find them online at indoorcomfortteam.com.
I'm Mark Cantor. Here's why you can count on Cantor Injury Law.
My name is Michelle. I'm a litigation paralegal at Cantor Injury Law, and you can count on Cantor because we are smart, honest, and hardworking.
I'm Kevin Glenn, and a partner here at Cantor Injury Law. You can count on Cantor because we make your cause our cause.
No fee if no recovery. Please visit CantorInjuryLaw.com or call us at 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
St. Louis County Library and St. Louis Public Library are teaming up once again this summer to offer STL Summer Adventure. It's from June 1st to August 10th. The program invites kids and teens to go on an adventure with a variety of fun activities. Participants who complete any 10 activities will earn a prize. Everyone who signs up gets a free book at registration. Fun events will be offered throughout the summer featuring music, comedy, magic, science, experiments, and more. You can find all the info online at stlsummeradventure.org.
All right, let's wrap this show up with a random or two.
Philippines just had an earthquake, but Indonesia experiences more earthquakes than any country in the world. Makes sense.
Yeah.
You know. And then peacocks hunt, kill, and eat snakes.
Good for
how about
them.
that?
A peacock just went up in my book.
Yummy.
You bet.
Yeah. You guys, that does it for us. Thanks for welcoming back. We'll all be back tomorrow starting at 3 o'clock, and hopefully you will be too. Until then, see if you can put a smile on somebody's face.
Whatever gets you
get through the night. It's alright. It's alright.
You know, that honeydew list isn't getting any shorter, and you got to make a dent into it. Can I